Hey, welcome in, everybody. The On Texas Football Watch Along is live, and it's Texas game number 4 on the young season. They're number 1 in the country for the first time in 2016. I should say game 3. Game 4 for the first time since 2008. They're number 1 in the country, the Texas Longhorns, and for the first before that was in the 80s. So we're going 40 years back. Longhorns kicked off with the number 1 team. They lasted 3 weeks back in 2008 with Colt McCoy and company as the number 1 team. They hope to last a lot longer this year with here comes the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. But Jerry Hamilton is live at the tailgate.
Well, the tailgate's cleared out. It's a tailgate of 4 right now. But I was in the stadium for warm-ups, came out here to do the watch with us, with all you guys. Excited to be here. Got to watch Arch warm up a little bit. Bevo Boulevard was buzzing. It's a great crowd tonight. A lot of excitement around the number 1 team in the country. Arch Manning making his first career start. SEC play starts next week. There's an energy and a vibe down on Bevo Boulevard that I haven't seen in a while, so it's really cool.
Agreed.
It's a different level than last year late in the year.
100%.
And we're about to get going here.
Yeah, we're about to kick off from the stadium. Texas, of course, a 45-point favorite. Texas will receive the ball, the opening kickoff, and Arch Manning will make his debut as a starting quarterback for the Longhorns. Of course, jumped in there last week and played really well. Let's talk about that, Jerry, that Arch the opportunity to come in cold last week and then have halftime for adjustments, and now he's had the whole week of reps to be the first-team quarterback. That's all great experience for a young quarterback.
No, it's great, and it's going to be so interesting this week. This is the first time he came off the bench cold last week. It's not like he was warming up, getting ready, thinking Quinn was going to get hurt. Now he's got a game plan. That's what's big this week. Sarkin installed a game plan built around Arch for the UL Monroe game, and so that's a totally different thing for Arch Manning as we get the kickoff here. And I think he looked good in warm-ups. He was a little high. You could tell he had the adrenaline going, not uncatchable passes, but his throws were above the helmet a lot of times in warm-ups. You could tell the adrenaline was running really high for Arch in his first career start. But again, I just saw team was ready to go. Jaden Blue looked good in warm-ups. Trey Wisner had a wrap on his left hamstring when he was kind of going through some warm-up drills. Derek Williams out tonight. Obviously, Quinn Ewers out tonight. Derek Williams, a key guy, out. He's the third safety. So we'll see how much Jelani McDonald can give Texas tonight.
All right, get first quarter underway. The kickoff is executed. It's a first down at the 28-yard line for Texas, and Arch Manning a fake and a roll left and an incomplete pass, his first pass of the ball game. Longhorns. I agree with you, Jerry. I was down at the Victory Lap where we do our pregame show for 102.7 ESPN, and it was early. I mean, you never know with these directional school games. But this fan base is fired up to be where they are and have this quarterback and have this opportunity because it was packed early and everybody was there watching the Michigan game, all the other games. I agree with you. The energy is really, really good for a game where the Longhorns are heavy, heavy favorites. Jaden Blue with a carry off left side. It'll be a 3rd and 4 for the Longhorns. But, yeah, great energy today, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And Jaden Blue there with the carry, that's good to see him back out. He looked, like I said, he looked good moving around in warm-ups. Looked like he could give Texas a lot today. I think he's going to be more of a factor in the passing game than the running game if Texas has their way.
Yeah, he was flanked out as a receiver on that play right there. And there's the initial first down to DeAndre Moore, who is one of the captains for this game. Went out there as a captain. I know he's one of the more likable guys, I think, in that locker room. DeAndre Moore is a really good guy. And good to see him. Got his first touchdown catch last week. And now you got to feel like, Arch is going to have some chemistry with that second group of receivers, maybe more, Jerry. That's who he usually works with, right? We saw Ryan Wingo last week.
Yeah, Ryan Wingo, Jonte Cook, Bolden more in practice, you would think. But we'll see here. Arch, they got a little pressure on Arch, and he goes for about 3 yards to get to 2nd and 7. But I think we're going to have a hold here on the right side.
Yeah, DJ Campbell, I think, is going to get the holding call. But, man, I mean, speak to it, Jerry. I mean, invaluable for this time of year where Texas is heavily favored in this game to get these reps for their backup quarterback. I mean, I know it's a big story because it's Arch Manning, but this is I don't want to say it's kind of ideal to have this opportunity if you go handle your business here this week to have Arch get this because you may need him again next year.
Yeah, no doubt. This is look. Here's going to be some nerves early in this game. I don't care what your last name is. This is your first college start. And so it's going to be interesting for after this first possession, how much smoother how much more comfortable he gets after he gets the nerves out, because there's nerves. I don't care who you are. There's going to be nerves. There you see Jaden Blue with a run off the left side there for 6 yards. He's going to set up a 2nd and 14.
Yeah, you'd like to see a drive like last week. And I was wondering, I meant to ask you, we started pretty quick. This game kicked off right at 7 o'clock on ESPN Plus. I wondered if the game plan, it was so pass heavy last week with Quinn, just surgically down the field. We've seen that so far, but I think a little more run game involved. And how much do you think they let Arch run in this game tonight, Jerry?
I think they hope he doesn't run much at all. There's a tremendous throw to Silas Bolden on an over route, crossing route over by the sideline.
What a laid out for the first down. That was a great catch.
I think Sark does not want him to run a lot in this game, right? You don't want to be down to your third quarterback, your final scholarship quarterback. That's a heck of a good throw by Arch Manning there, standing tall in the pocket, letting the play letting the play develop, I should say. 7 yards there on first down on a little inside zoner by Jaden Blue. So Texas down to the 6 yards to the ULM 43 here.
Jerry, for our audience here on the On Texas Football Watch Along, our first quarter brought to you by Vote for Anthony, my good buddy Anthony Hippolito. He's an avid On Texas Football watcher, and he's running for Hays County Sheriff. He'd love your vote in November. We'll tell you more about him coming up. But you said you watched Arch warm up, and you saw maybe a little nerves, a little adrenaline going. But here's a 2nd and short for Texas, and a throw you cannot make if you're Arch Manning.
Yeah, isn't this crazy? That's exactly how Quinn Ewers started against UL Monroe. He threw an interception down the right side of the field on a ball that was late. Kind of crazy. Get your interception out of the way. Young quarterback, get your interception out of the way. Had a lot of pressure on him. Sidestepped the first guy. Released the ball, pressure in his face. That ball's got to be thrown out of bounds, which I'm sure Sark will tell. A little injury update. DeAndre Moore is in the tent for Texas getting looked at. I'm not sure what happened to him on his catch, on his reception, but he is in the tent. So it's very interesting. That's how Quinn started against UL Monroe. He had an interception, I believe, on his first series, in his first start at Texas, too. So sometimes history repeats itself a little bit. So see what the defense does.
Well, that's a good point, Jerry, and good memory on that, too, because it reminds you, because you're watching here Arch on this first drive, even with the scripted plays, he looks a lot like Quinn did year one, right, where he's kind of locking in on one spot, and if it's there, he'll go. If not, he looks a little hesitant and not sure what to do with that next progression. That's Quinn as a redshirt freshman learning the ropes, and then we now know he looks like a totally different quarterback here in year 3. That's the experience. I mean, you can't coach that. You have to learn it.
Yeah, you got to get your nerves. You got to get your nerves out of the way. He's got to get through those progressions quicker this time, and it'll be interesting to see is he better outside the script as this game moves along, or is he going to have more success in the script? So far, he seems to be locking on that first read a little bit too long, and we'll see what he does on his second possession. There's a lot of nerves. Sark's going to calm him down like he's done many guys before. So we'll see what Arch does here on the second possession. But key here is defensively. Texas, ULM has the ball on the 29. Texas needs to help the rookie quarterback out, make it his first start with a 3-and-out here. First down run defense is going to be the key.
Yeah, complimentary run defense. ULM, the Warhawks, it'll be major. I almost said major, but it'll be General Booty as your starting quarterback here. Of course, Sark coached his uncle, John David Booty, back in the day at USC. Booty, a popular name as far as quarterbacks go in their day, and he will be the starting quarterback. They're a run-based team, though, right, Jeremy? They're 70% run versus the pass under a first-year head coach who's kind of brought some toughness to the program. They want to be a running team that plays great defense in their conference. And so, yeah, Longhorns first down defense, kind of like Michigan. If you can make them play behind the chains, that's not good for them.
No, it's not. I mean, and they've attempted 3 passes farther than 10 yards all season, Aaron. So first down defense is everything in this game. It's kind of like Michigan light on offense. First down run defense, Michigan never got really way ahead of the chains in that game. If Texas can stifle UL Monroe on first downs here, they're going to have to get out of their comfort zone early in this game. We'll see how they do firing off the ball. They've had a week off. They had a week to prepare for Texas. Texas played last week. They got fresh legs. We'll see how they look on this first series. Are they able to move Texas at all? For Texas, one thing I've said the last couple of days, this is about gap sound, responsibility night defensively for Texas. I would think the entire chat here, if you could see one thing from the Texas defense tonight, what would it be? It would be gap integrity, sound linebacker play, not giving up the big play, not the false step, and that gives up the big run. If Texas plays gap sound tonight, then I think they're going to be very successful and put UL Monroe in positions they don't want to be.
Yeah, that's the game plan, and the defense. It's been great complementary football so far this year for Texas. They have picked up the offense when there's been a mistake made, and now they have that opportunity to do it here. The Longhorns did gain 39 yards on that initial drive, and 22 through the air, 17 on the ground, and then an ill-advised throw by Arch Manning there. And they run play action, not surprisingly, on first down to get 4, and now it'll be a second down for General Booty and the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. By the way, Tennessee driving on Oklahoma, Jerry. They're now inside the 10-yard line. Brew McCoy just bought a big catch and run. No score in Norman. It's zip, but Tennessee moving the ball.
This is what ULM has to do for Booty. Play action, get him on the move, get him playing away from that Texas inside. It's front 7. Plays on the move. There's a second down run, and it went nowhere. Lost a couple of yards. Alfred Collins looked like on the stop there.
Yeah, he just leapfrogged. He jumped over his guy and greeted the ball carrier, Hardy. That's the athleticism in the NFL loves about Big 95, Alfred Collins, and he's played well so far this year.
Yeah, he has. David Binda there on the run fit as well, I believe. So both those guys, Alfred Collins was in the backfield, Binda with the fit. By the way, looking at Binda on the field before the game, man, has he filled out his lower body. I mean, he is so strong and powerful in his legs. It was such a body transformation from high school with him. We had him in the ESPN Under Armour game when I was at the ESPN. He was a long way from that, what he looked like in his lower body. I mean, he looked strong and powerful from his waist down in warm-ups. It was a good look for Binda. He means compact power.
Yeah, first third down for the Warhawks here after the Longhorns stuffed them on first and second down and trying to get off the field here. Obviously, as you see there, Louisiana Monroe seeking their first 3-0 start since 1987. How about that, Jerry? 73 new players on this Louisiana Monroe team. That's almost. I mean, that's the entire 85 scholarships. 73 new players. They're up there with Indiana and Colorado as far as newcomers to a roster. That's tough for a coach to build chemistry with that. But so far, they're 2-0.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not sure I've ever seen that big of a roster turnover in 1 year. And when you look at it, you're just like, I mean, it would take you 30 minutes to go through it and kind of look back at some of these guys' profiles and their bios. But it's going to take – that was why the UAB win was impressive in a way, because they haven't had time for this team to gel. Oh, Trey Moore. Anthony Hill sack there.
Yeah, Anthony Hill, Trey Moore was there first, and Anthony Hill, the speedster, the sophomore out of Denton, Texas, with the sack. Longhorns get off the field here. They'll force a punt. Booty's lucky he didn't fumble the ball.
Good pressure, multiple people. Vernon Broughton there pushes the pocket, pushes Booty a little bit to the left, right into Anthony Hill's powerful arms, and down he goes, and punt time it is for UL Monroe.
All right, Arch Manning will get his second try here. Our first quarter brought to you by Anthony Hippolito. He's running for Hays County Sheriff, and he'd love to be your sheriff. We'll tell you about it coming up. There's a flag on this play on the punt, and we'll see what this is about.
So, look, again, on that, this is the big question for UL Monroe. If they're forced into 3rd and longs, what do they have against Texas? 1, the offensive line has to protect. That broke down. But 2, they don't have anybody that can challenge Texas down the field, very similar to the way Michigan was, but obviously a lot less talent on the field. So that's the question. What can UL Monroe do schematically to get guys open in space? I think Texas can take some chances in this game, play more man, play more bump, come after UL Monroe offensive line and make it really tough on Booty. I think they're going to have to keep the pocket moving a lot in this game, and that third down they're playing out of the pocket. I'm not sure they can do that successfully.
Agreed. It was illegal formation was the call. By the way, Tennessee kicked a field goal, Jerry. It's 3-0 Volunteers, almost the end of the first quarter now. Tennessee's defense dominating Oklahoma right now as far as that side of the ball. 3 points on the board in the first quarter. And it'll be Arch Manning second. I'm sure Arch congratulated the defense, sudden change defense. They got it done. Now he gets the ball back, maybe calm his nerves down a little bit and see how he does on his second drive.
Yeah, they took the penalty, forced another punt, and he rocketed this punt. Of course.
Silas Bolton's running the wrong way. Silas Bolton's going across the field. Look out. He totally reversed course on that one. that's one of the, you get some block in the backs. But he ran a long way to get 10 yards, it looked like, on that.
Yeah, so off that, they took the penalty, ended up -6 because the first punt was not good. Fair caught on the 42. And then so this one, the guy ripped the punt, and Texas lost 6 yards by taking the penalty. So it was essentially -11 there. Now, Arch Manning's second offensive possession here. We'll see if the nerves calm. He got stuck on that first read. That wasn't Manning like with his feet, the athlete he is. So we'll see if Sark gets him on the move a little bit more here. But I know obviously Sark has his script. But let's see if he gets him on the move a little bit more. I think we have a hold on the punt return as well, which normally happens when you cross the field.
Yeah, when you turn and everybody's blocking one way and you're going the other way. Yeah, it's on Leona. The foul accepted. So now the decision to have them repunt, not a wise one, but that's 20/20 hindsight. I think when you have Silas Bolden back there and a punt team like them, I think you force them to punt it whenever you can. But sometimes it does not work out. But Longhorns will have a second opportunity for Arch Manning. First one ended up in an interception. And again, I think you saw early that, Quinn has been so sharp on these first drives in the first 3 games that, you realize just how comfortable he now is driving this offense, running the scripted plays, whether it's be Michigan or last week against Louisiana Monroe. Against UTSA, just very comfortable. Arch Manning, a little, as you said, nerves and some adrenaline. He needs to settle down and play quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, just got to settle in here. See what Sark calls here. The script does not look like a bunch of Arch on the move early. So he is going to play more from the pocket, it looks like, early on. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a little power play, trapping the guard and the tackle, bringing him around the corner. Yeah, settle this game down a little bit. Jaden Blue's healthy. You want to get him going. DeAndre Moore leaving the field, guys. He did take that initial first down and took a pretty hard hit right across the middle, and now he's leaving the field. We'll try to get an update on him.
Yeah, so there we have a second down run for Jaden Blue.
I like that right there, Jerry. Jaden Blue looked like he was going to get stopped for behind the line, and he lowered his shoulder a little bit, drove through it, and dang near got it. Now it's going to be 3rd and foot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And here we go, 3rd and a foot. Arch Manning's airing it out deep to Isaiah Bond.
There it is. Explosive. Yep, there's Isaiah Bond showing that elite speed. Track and field coming out of high school to Alabama, now to Texas. They ran the play action on 3rd and a foot. Obviously, Louisiana Monroe was sucked up, and Isaiah Bond behind him got tripped up or would have been at 6 points.
Yeah, important here. Here we go. This is Arch's first trip in the red zone as a starting quarterback at Texas. Ball protection, huge here. Can't force one. Cannot force a throw here. Got to really covet the football, covet possession.
And you'd kind of like to just see them run this ball in, right? Use their power, their offensive line, the pancake factory, and plug this thing in the end zone here. But penetration on first down. But Jaden Blue is going to get out of it and make something out of it. Arch was trying to get out there and block.
Yeah. Arch, just don't get out there and block, man. That'd be a bad way to get down the one scholarship quarterback. Hey, good pass protection. Juan Davis there in a max protect set. Really good job by Juan Davis. Picking up the blitzer for UL Monroe, and that's what we wondered. How aggressive would UL Monroe be in coverage today, and how many numbers would they bring? They brought a lot.
And that was a great deep ball, great throw by Quinn too. And now Jaden Blue approaching the goal line here on 2nd and 5. Remember they still got a first down here, Jerry, at the 2. But Jaden Blue running with some power between the tackles, and that was a great throw by Arch too. And I would say, normally when you're going to, play action on 3rd and short, you're going to make it max protect because you want to make the defense think you're running the ball there and not give them the tip. And Isaiah Bond just too fast. And there it is, first down. So it'll be 1st and goal from the foot line. Just keep pounding that ball, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think you'll keep pounding that ball. No reason to put it in Arch's hands right here, 1st and goal. Let him continue to get through the nerves of this first quarter of his first start. And there he goes, the handoff to Blue and a touchdown. It looks like,
sounds like.
Yeah,
looks like
they're going to give it to him.
I think he's in. Yes.
Yeah, he's in. All right, there it is. 7 minutes to go, halfway through the first quarter, and Texas is in the end zone for the first time. Jaden Blue getting a steady diet. He's already got 9 carries, Jerry, 38 yards and a touchdown, thanks to the explosive Isaiah Bond from Arch Manning, a perfect post route and deep pass on a 3rd and short. And now the Longhorns will kick the extra point. But props to Sark there, Jerry, settling it down a little bit. settling down his quarterback, using his running games. So I got 9 carries for Jaden Blue, only just 5 attempts, and you gave Arch Manning, max protect and a 1-read option there on that 3rd and foot.
Yeah, they did, and safety did not get over the top on that play. Obviously, and Arch threw a perfect ball to Isaiah Bond. So 7-0 here we go. Will Stone will be kicking it off. But what you like here is Jaden Blue coming back off had the week off, 9 carries, 38 yards in this game so far. You figure next possession, you start to see Jarrett Gibson come in at running back. If Texas can get through this and let Trey Weissner rest tonight, kind of do the opposite of what they did with Jaden Blue last week, I think that'd be a positive thing headed into the Mississippi State game. People are saying DeCorian Moore got a stinger. That's what people are saying. DeAndre Moore got a stinger, not DeCorian. DeAndre Moore got a stinger. He looked like he had a little bit of a limp, so on the right side. But
he took a hard hit. I mean, he got hit hard on that 3rd down across the middle, and he got kind of thrown into the linebacker and made a catch and held the ball, but he took a lick there. Let's hope the best for DeAndre.
So Texas, even with the Arch Manning interception there, the nerves on that first series, Texas 116 yards midway through the first quarter. So they're right on track. UL Monroe -2 yards on that first possession.
Yep. Hey, Jerry, what's more surprising today? SMU's got 60 points on TCU, or James Madison put 70 on Mac Brown?
I mean, the 70 on Mac Brown, James Madison. The crazy thing about that game, North Carolina ended up outgaining JMU. Both of them had over 605 yards. North Carolina actually had more yards in that game, had 5 turnovers, gave up 70, and lost by 20 at home.
That's as bad a loss as you can take for Mac Brown.
I mean, those are games that make you retire.
Yeah, 100%. And
A&M up on Bowling Green, 7-3, early second quarter, by the way. Tennessee up 3-0 on Oklahoma. Sooners driving on Tennessee here in the
they're going to try to kick a field goal here to tie the game. OU is
Miami up 14-12 on South Florida in the second.
Yeah, the field goal's good. Oklahoma, Tennessee tied 3-3 first quarter, very end of the first quarter now. But Jackson Arnold's getting pounded, and he's not playing well right now for the Sooners. They're having to run reverses and trick plays right now to gain yards against that Tennessee defense. We know coming into that game, Jerry, Oklahoma 108th in total offense against the likes of Houston, Temple, and Tulane. This Tennessee defense, number 2 in the country, coming in with the number 2 offense as well.
Yeah, and Oklahoma defense, give them credit. Tennessee has 47 yards nearing the end of the first quarter. That's a really good quarter of defense for the Oklahoma Sooners. There's another replay, a beautiful deep ball from Arch to Isaiah Bond and Jaden Blue running it in. ULM did a good job on that play. They had a lot of guys penetrating, playing on Texas side of the line of scrimmage, but Texas had enough push to get Blue across the end zone there. Will Stone kicking it off here.
I like your point about Trey Weissner maybe getting to take the day off. Of course, they got Mississippi State coming in next week, a 1-3 football team that doesn't play much defense. They got walloped today by Florida at home. They won their first game for Jeff Levy and have lost 3 in a row. So they'll be coming in for the Longhorn Conference opener and first ever SEC game next Saturday. And they're not very good. They're not very good on defense.
Mississippi State's offensive line is not very good. Blake Shapen got hurt late in that game. Mississippi State pass defense not very good. A lot of issues in Starkville headed to Austin next week. A lot.
Yeah, Longhorns will be whatever happens tonight. Longhorns will still be a very, very heavy favorite for that. And you wonder, to try to get Quinn Ewers one more week of just to be careful. But we'll talk about that as the broadcast goes on here. But they come off a little power, toss sweep on first down. Nice run play to start the drive here. Louisiana Monroe has to stay ahead of the chains, or they know it'll be a long night. Longhorns got them to a 3rd and long on the first drive and ended up getting them to punt the ball, got a sack on a 3rd and 8. That time they get 5 yards on first down. That's kind of
I like that running play by UL Monroe on that.
So yeah.
They found a little weakness in the numbers, and they ran that power pitch. Good job, 6-yard, 7-yard gain, setting up a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that's where they need to be if they're going to move the ball at all. And there's Anthony Hill already has a sack. Now he's going to have a pick 6 potentially. Get out and block. Oh, don't get a clip.
He high stepped at the 20. And it's a touchdown.
Are they going to call block in the back? I think they're going to call block in the back on Trey Moore at the 1-yard line.
I don't know, but he started high stepping at the 23-yard line. That was something. Oh, I think did they call celebration or did they?
I think they're going to get Trey Moore with a block in the backside. I mean, he had to get the block, and the guy turned on him, and that was the block. He had to jump over that guy that he pushed down. But I'm assuming it's a block in the back, and the Longhorns have the ball. Like, it's a spot foul, so they should have the ball right out around the 15 or 20-yard line.
I think somebody's saying TD Tennessee in the chat, so that was quick.
Yeah, quick play strike. There were only 20 seconds to go in the quarter, and they just scored on that play. Nico with the big over the top. It's now going to be 10-3 Tennessee.
Good job, Aaron Hogan. They did call that block in the back, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 13. Another trip in the red zone by Texas. Great hands. Look, if you want to see where Anthony Hill's improving and developing at Texas, this is it. Dropping in coverage, the feel for playing. Look at him high stepping at the 23. That's crazy. The feel dropping in coverage, the reaction to the ball. He was always such a downhill player in high school. Downhill, chase the ball. You didn't see much of him playing in space and coverage. That's a big part of his maturation as a linebacker, as a true linebacker, playing that Mike spot, and you're starting to see him really ascend and take that next step as a linebacker. He's having a hell of a game tonight. Sack and interception.
Sacked in the last drive, and now a pick and almost 6 points. Excuse me. Pressure on Arch, and he had to get rid of the football. But I got
to tell you, ULM's getting a little bit too much pressure.
They are. They're I think they're sensing that a young quarterback is that they can get after him a little bit, try to heat him up, and see what can happen. And obviously, on the 3rd and short, they hit the bomb, but defense has been okay so far. 3 for 6, 78 yards in the pick. See if they can put this in the end zone after Anthony Hill set them up with another red zone opportunity. 6:22 to go first quarter.
And they're winning some one-on-one matchups too against Texas to get pressure.
There's another one right there. Jake Majors got beat off the snap, and you can see him frustrated. And that was Jared Gibson, but that was penetration by Big 97. He beat Jake Majors off the ball.
Yeah, Texas. UL Monroe's winning a little bit up front right now, and we'll see if that. And Jared Gibson limps off now. He had a little bit of a gimpy ankle last week, I think. So at times, so offensive line's going to have to start winning a little bit more up front.
Right there it is. Good slant route. See if Gunnar Helm. Oh, that's going to be a hip drop tackle. Let's hope he's okay. Yeah, there's penalty. That's God. Good. Just good to see Gunnar get up because that was that dreaded hip drop.
That is what happened to Jordan Travis that derailed FSU season last year. That's the exact same play.
Yeah, they've outlawed that in the NFL too. That is every player's nightmare because you understand the defender is trying to slow down momentum from behind and does it by wrapping him up and then dropping his weight on the lower legs of the player. That's dangerous. A lot of times you see ankle injuries, leg injuries there, and seen a lot of those. And fortunately, Gunnar Helm popped right back up.
So it'll be 1st and goal. Looks like from the 3-yard line. I mean, Gunnar's really lucky. Really lucky.
Yeah, that was ugly. That's why they've made it a 15-yard penalty in the NFL too. Too many guys get hurt with that, and it's you understand the defender's just trying to stop momentum, but at the same time you can't use your body weight like that. And there it is, design play, Jaden Blue touchdown, Arch's first tonight, and 6th this year. Jaden Blue 6 points in the Longhorns. 2 touchdowns now for Jaden Blue. Anthony Hill already off to a huge game with a sack and a turnover forced, almost a pick 6. And Jaden Blue now 2 touchdowns in the first quarter here.
Yeah, no doubt. This Arch is so good on the move, rolling right. Obviously, I mean, whenever you say something, you say, "Oh, he's a Manning. He should be." That's just the obvious answer. But still, I mean, this is your first real extended game action, your first start as a starting quarterback. But he is so good and so smooth rolling right. And there's something about him when he rolls right. He is very patient with the football going right. He has a real comfort on the move rolling right, playing to his right.
Yeah, learned something this week I didn't know. Actually, after the game last week, he talked about how his grandpa Archie came to like every practice at Isidore Newman that he had in high school. So how about that? I mean, we talk about Peyton and Eli all the time, but his grandpa was at every practice. He's retired, obviously, and was there. And what a sounding board that is for a young quarterback. Not just the uncles, but a grandpa who was he plays the game a lot like Archie did.
That. I can confirm that. I went to I went to 2 practices and he was there on both of them. So I can confirm that Archie went to a lot of practices. UT Boy says he's right-handed, GH. Yeah, but let me tell you something. There's still a comfort level. Some guys like going left as a right-handed quarterback more because they can square those shoulders and rip through with their core. Arch really likes playing on the move as a right-handed quarterback.
Well, and
I know UT Boy's having some fun with me. I'm having some fun with him.
I get it. Well, you're the tailgate. You're supposed to be having fun, for crying out loud. Hey, let me mention my buddy Anthony Hippolito. He's probably watching right now. He is in Hays County. He's running for sheriff. He has the strong endorsement of the current sheriff, Sheriff Gary Cutler. And this is an important vote if you live in Hays County, or you have friends or neighbors or family members who live in one of the fastest growing counties in all of Texas. Make sure you tell them, hey, vote for Anthony. It's not about party. It's not about party lines. It's about safety. With the sheriff's department. He was with Austin PD, APD for 25 years, retired there, and now working with the sheriff's department there in Hays County. Make your voice count. He's passionate about school safety, passionate about the fentanyl crisis, which is wrecking families in Hays County and all over Central Texas, all over Texas, as a matter of fact. Make sure you vote for Anthony. Committed to enhancing our public safety, our public schools, strong focus on the fentanyl crisis, wants to ensure that our community stays safe. He also wants a transparent sheriff's department. He wants you as a citizen to know what's happening within your first responders and in your PD and the sheriff's department there. Absolutely a great guy, straight shooter. If you see him out and about, shake his hand, say you're going to vote for him in November. I know it's about the president and bigger elections, but if you live in Hays County, have family in Hays County, make sure you're telling them to vote for Anthony. Vote for Anthony. He gave me this nice tumbler, this Yeti here, so I'm drinking some water out of it. Vote for Anthony. He's probably watching right now. 14-0 Longhorns. 5 minutes to go. First quarter. Arch Manning has a touchdown pass. Jaden Blue with 2. And so far, I want to get ahead of ourselves here, Jerry, but the Longhorns have had a conference honor every week, an SEC, player of the week or offensive lineman of the week. So far, Anthony Hill and Jaden Blue are putting themselves early on in position to be all conference kind of guys this week, with 2 touchdowns in 6 minutes, or 2 touchdowns in 10 minutes, and a sack and a turnover forced in the first quarter by Anthony Hill. Yeah,
and we're going to have to absolutely, Jaden Blue off to a fast start here. Good to see him running with confidence after the ankle injury against Michigan. We're going to have to get a check on Jarrett Gibson, see how he's doing, because obviously Texas doesn't want to play Wisner tonight, to see if Jarrett Gibson's okay to come back in.
Yeah, but that was unfortunate to see Jarrett Gibson limp off. Hopefully he's okay, because at some point here you'd like to get Jaden Blue out too. But, it's going to be Velton Gardner and maybe Ryan Niblett here, because, you're in a spot where you might build a big lead here. And then, you don't want to be putting Arch Manning in harm's way. You mentioned it earlier. People talk about Arch and his legs and running, but same time, you already have one quarterback injured and you only have one scholarship quarterback behind him. You got to be careful with your quarterback too, with SEC play beginning next week.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you want Arch running the football tonight. That's one thing I will say. I don't think you want him running the football. We're down, by the way, to 5:18 remaining in this first quarter. Tennessee up 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. A&M's extended to 10-3 over Bowling Green. Some scores there in the SEC.
There you go. Third drive for Louisiana Monroe. The first one ended in a sack and a punt. The second drive almost ended in a pick 6 for Anthony Hill. And now Anthony Hill with a tackle out around the 30-yard line. He's active. Again, we know he's a 5-star player coming in, Jerry, number 1 player in the state, one of the top defensive players in the country out of Denton Ryan. But we're starting to see him kind of like, Quinn Ewers on offense. The game slowed down for him just reacting and making plays, and then that natural athleticism just jumps off the page.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And learning to play the true linebacker position. That's kind of his evolution this year. He is going to be tremendously scary football player his final season in Austin in 2025, because he's learning fast. Playing that Mike linebacker. He's showing he can still play the Mike. They can move him around. He's coming off the edge here on this 2nd and 3. First down. Good couple of runs there for UL Monroe getting the first down. They needed it badly. 3 and out would have been bad right now.
Yeah, they need to move the ball here and find a way to get the clock running and get out of this first quarter down 2 scores. Not anything worse than that.
Yeah, so UL Monroe got a little bit of push here. Burke might have got sucked in on that first down run, just half a step, so that the back spun out of that, but that was a good run. But they got a little push there on the 2nd and 3, so we'll see what they do here. Texas is playing with a really tight 5-man box there. Nowhere to go with the football. And look, they're going to have to mix up. You know, they probably ideally would love to run it on first down 15 out of 17 times if they have 17 first downs via penalty or whatever. But they're going to have to mix in a little pass on first down just to keep Texas honest, even though that was not a stacked box on first down.
Kelly Hill, thank you for the super chat there. Hook 'em horns, absolutely good stuff. Here in our first quarter, Texas up 14-0. Oklahoma just punted again, by the way. Jackson Arnold is having a struggle here in this game, the quarterback for Oklahoma. We'll get you some numbers on that. But there's a good play by Ethan Burke, getting his big hands up, had the pick six last week. His teammates were all over him for his lack of swag and falling into the end zone and doing like the belly flop. They weren't real happy with that, but maybe Ethan gets a chance to redeem himself if he keeps doing that.
That's what an 84-inch wingspan looks like coming at you. And let's just think in high school, Aaron used to carry a lacrosse stick doing that.
Yeah,
he's used to playing with his hands up now. This is a guy that's used to playing with high hands.
Loving that 512 crew, the crew 512, the Austin kids performing at a high level. Michael Taff, Ethan Burke, Colton Vosick, Andrew Makuba, Jade Barron, all from the 512. Alfred Collins has a couple tackles on the night already. And here comes Vernon Broughton.
Great pressure up front by Broughton.
And Colin Simmons on the field
there as well. So punt time. Good job, Vernon Broughton. And if he wasn't there, Colin Simmons was going to be there. You know, that's look, Vernon, we need to always talk about him right now. He's having a tremendous senior year. He's always disruptor, but he's gone from disruptor to taking that one more step into the backfield and becoming a pressure guy against the pass. So Vernon Broughton's having a tremendous final season in Austin thus far.
100% agree. And we've seen that under Sark and certainly Bo Davis before, now Kenny Baker, that these guys who, we didn't see flashing, Keandre Coburn a couple of years ago, more Ojimo. Last year, Tavondre Sweat took a massive step forward. Byron Murphy was just Byron Murphy, but I think we're seeing Vernon Broughton, now that he's married, kind of doing the same thing, he and Alfred Collins at the point of attack.
Yeah, Ryan Nelson jokingly said, and I always say it too, that getting married puts a little different pressure on you, right? So now you're playing your final year as a married man in college, and that's a little different pressure.
Yeah, Mama brings pressure. You know what I'm saying? She made him skip the spring game for the wedding.
Yes.
She said, no, you're not changing that. I made this date. You're showing up and saying I do. You tell Coach Sark, well, we'll see you later. But there we go. Texas, Jaden Blue, he's already got 10 carries. Got a couple touchdowns, one on the ground, one through the air. Arch Manning so far 5 for 8, 89 yards, a tutty, and that interception. Maybe good to get that interception out of the way early and calm himself down a little bit, and now he can run this offense.
Yeah, Cam Williams' helmet knocked off, so he'll have to come out, see who they put in at right tackle for this one play. Will it be Brandon Baker? It is Brandon Baker, so there's your second team right tackle. If anybody was wondering, I think we already knew.
Oh, Jaden Blue dropped it. Yeah, that was set up too. Jaden Blue put it on the ground, but good screen pass set up. There were blockers in front.
Yeah, just started to take off a little bit. Wasn't the best pass, but he got it to him in a catchable situation.
By the way, update from Norman. OU just forced a sack fumble of Nico, brought a safety blitz, and they're going to have the ball at the 5-yard line in a 10-3 game. They're trailing Tennessee, but what they needed was a short field, and they've got 5 yards to the end zone. We're keeping an eye on that one, too, for you here on the On Texas Watch. Deep ball again for Quinn, and it's a big one to Ryan Wingo. That's going to be pass interference, right?
Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, he dragged him down before the ball came. He was open, and probably the smart play by number 2, Wilson, because it was going to be a 40-yard play instead of a 15-yard penalty. And Ryan Wingo is averaging over 31 yards per touch, and that would have been another explosive if he had caught that.
Yeah, I want to see the replay. Arch may have been a little late on that throw to Wingo, just a little bit. But it would have been a catch with the Wingo's talent.
Yeah, no way. No doubt. And smart play by 4 actually to not give up the chunk play instead of just a 15-yard penalty. By the way, Jerry, SMU's got 66 now on TCU, middle of the fourth quarter.
that game will retire you as well. the team you used to coach is beating the snot out of you.
Ryan Wingo coming across the middle, the immensely talented freshman, another 20-yard chunk play, getting him involved. He and Colin Simmons, two elite freshmen, adding to the talent level of this Texas football team.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is a combination that's been they've been working on this since the first day of August camp. So these guys have great rapport. We talked about how Quinn, we talked about on this channel, Aaron, Quinn felt his best rapport to start the season was with Matthew Golden. I think we know who Arch's best rapport is. It's Ryan Wingo.
Yeah, went to him twice in a row, got the penalty and then the chunk play. So now they're back in scoring zone, 2:24 to go in the first quarter. And Longhorns mounting another drive here.
Yeah, getting Juan Davis involved. He caught a pass last week on the first or second drive, called back by penalty. So Sark's starting to get Juan Davis more involved, kind of getting him more involved for all his work he does in the run game.
Yeah, I think Juan Davis could be a good player.
He's solid. Good run by Jaden Blue there. Offensive line got some push there. A little bit of push. Jake Majors, really good combo block with Hayden Connor to open that hole up. So 1st and 10 from the 17.
By the way, I guess Tennessee recovered that fumble because Tennessee still has the ball at the 5-yard line. My bad on that, but it's 10-3 Tennessee. Looked like Oklahoma was going to get it. There's Wingo, touchdown, too easy. Great route, double move, probably a post corner. And Ryan Wingo's in the end zone again. It's 20-0 Texas, 20 points on the board first quarter.
Look, there's one thing UL Monroe can't do in this game. That's blow coverages. If they blow coverages, they get the doors blown off of them. And if you're going to blow coverages against Texas with this receiver talent, you're giving up big chunk play touchdowns. And does that count as an explosive play? 17 yards. I would say it does. So Arch Manning up to 8-12, 138, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and 21-0. Ryan Wingo, that is his second catch for 43.
Yeah, 2 for 43 for Wingo, and now a tutty. Jaden Blue's got the other 2. This says Rick with a great point. How can you leave Wingo wide open? Good blitz pickup by Blue on that too. That's a big part of that. They brought an extra person, which led to the blown coverage, I think. And Arch having himself a quarter, and the Longhorns are up 3 scores already.
Yeah, and look, UL Monroe has 15 yards. 15 yards. About to get the ball for the last possession of the first quarter. They've turned it over. Obviously, Anthony Hill with the big-time pick. Anthony Hill out of sack on that first possession. Vernon Broughton, Ethan Burke, both making plays, big plays for Texas. So if UL Monroe can't mount a drive right here, this thing's going to get away from them extremely quickly.
No question about it. I mean, they were a 45-point favorite to begin with, and the early interception gave them a little bit of life, but they weren't able to move the ball after it. And now Arch Manning has settled in and settled down. I thought props to Sark, getting the running game going and then kind of settling down his quarterback. And now we're seeing Arch just flow and run the offense. 21-0. Our first quarter brought to you by Vote for Anthony Hippolito. He's a good friend and avid on Texas football watcher and wants you to vote for him for Hays County Sheriff coming up in November. By the way, after recovering that fumble and getting the ball back, Tennessee now driving on Oklahoma. Their offense is cranking up. If they can put a 2-score lead on Oklahoma, it's going to be a hard time for the Sooners right now. They're not moving the ball at all.
Somebody at the stadium tell me Jordan Johnson-Rubel in at safety, which would make sense because those that are not getting to see the game that are here on the live stream, by the way, thanks for joining us. Derek Williams held out of this game with a hamstring, and he didn't look good running last week to me. So that doesn't surprise me that Derek Williams is out. Britt Rasco asks, how instrumental was Arch and Ryan Wingo's recruitment? Extremely. Him and Sarkisian. Sark personally recruited him. Arch hosted him on a couple of visits. Arch was very impactful.
And didn't Missouri was making a push there, right? He's from St. Louis, and I know Missouri and Eli Drinkwitz were right there with it and came down to Texas and Missouri, and it was a close battle.
Yeah, it was. And look, they passed that legislation in the Show Me State where you could make NIL your senior year or as a high school athlete if you signed scholarship papers with an in-state school. So Missouri made a strong run at it. But I think Ryan Wingo, obviously the Sark playing for Sark in this offense, obviously Arch Manning, the quarterback room at Texas, the University of Texas as a whole, moving into the SEC. Again, if Texas hadn't moved into the SEC, I don't think they'd have won this recruitment. The SEC is massive. We got some young guys in. Alex January's in, by the way, his first action. We're seeing him line up next to Alfred Collins on this drive. Mers is asking Phil Sami out too. I think Phil Sami's dressed out, but I'm not sure if he's expected to play. The only two players listed as out for sure were Quinn and Derek Williams by UT before the game. But we'll have to see. Some guys like Trey Weiser who they obviously don't want to play tonight.
All right, so Law Monroe's going to get a first down. Could have been more, but the turf monster got the running back out of the backfield, and but they do get a first down, which is going to end the first quarter. Brought to you by Vote for Anthony. Make sure you do that. He'll also sponsor our third quarter coming up. Give him your vote in November. There are obviously presidential elections and a lot of big decisions for you going to make at the ballot box, but a good one if you live in Hays County, have family or friends who live in that fast-growing county down that way. Make sure you're voting for Anthony. It's the right call for Hays County Sheriff. All right, 21-0, Jerry. Only 27 yards allowed by the defense. 2 first downs. Texas, meanwhile, gets nearly 200 yards of offense and 21 points. Did have the early turnover by Arch Manning, but all in all, settled in and playing some good football.
Yeah, he is. Got settled in. Look, Quinn threw a pick his first series against UL Monroe. Arch throws one his first series, his first start against UL Monroe. So funny how history repeats itself. I think we're about to be joined by one of the greats, by the way. But Texas dominates the first quarter, 183 total yards, 138 through the air, 45 rushing. UL Monroe, 27 total yards, 11 through the air, 16 rushing. Just got a first down. So, by the way, somebody in the chat saying an OU lineman got hurt, but they're not saying who it is. There's Bob Shipley, one of the greats.
One of the greats. Hello, Coach.
What's happening?
What do you think of the first quarter so far? Outside of the turnover by Arch early, we forced a pass into coverage. Pretty solid. 21 points on the board for the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, it is a solid quarter, but ULM came to play. I mean, that's the good thing about it. They're not just rolling over. We're having to earn what we've made so far. There's nothing been given to us. And, I don't think Louisiana Monroe is going to roll over. They certainly did in the first quarter, although just by sheer overpowering them, we're able to have a 3-touchdown lead, but they're not laying it down. They came to play and they're playing hard. So it's going to be fun to see what happens the next 3 quarters.
Coach, you could tell they have a fresh defensive line from a week off, and they have some edge rush ability, but they were winning up front enough early in this game to put a little pressure on the Texas offense.
Yeah, they really were. That's something that I was not prepared to see. You see, great job by their staff having their players prepared to come in and play hard. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for us, as I know you guys have already pointed out. But I think it's good for us to come in against a team that's fired up and playing well, not intimidated by the ranking, not intimidated by the crowd. We're just overpowering them at this point. Anyway, it's good to see us having to fight and have a 3-touchdown lead in a game where it's the interception kind of made you go uh-oh. ULM came to play, but anyway, Arch overcame that, and it's good to see the young freshman overcome adversity early in his career as a starter.
Hey, by the way, if anybody doesn't think there's not nerves in your first college start, Arch locked up about 2 times on that first drive and didn't move his feet, didn't come off his first read. You could tell there were nerves. He's no different than anybody else. There's a lot of nerves in your first start in front of 100,000 people with all the expectation. He's doing it as the number 1 team in the country. So hope he continues to settle in there. Somebody, I think, jokingly asked in the chat, how good is Ryan Wingo going to be? Well, I've seen 3 freshman wideouts that are going to be first rounders. Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, and Ryan Wingo. It's a great freshman receiver class. Those 3 guys, if they stay upright, they're first-round locks.
No doubt.
Yeah, Rod Babers calls it the deepest position in the game, and he's right about that. At really every level with 7-on-7, the receiver position is loaded in college football and pro football because they're just so deep, and you get so many on the field. But Coach Shipley, we talked about it with this ULM team. They are playing hard. They're winning some individual battles. They're getting pressure. And 73 new players on that team. You coached a lot of football. How tough does that have to be for a coach and a staff to bring in 73 new faces and have them playing this cohesively this early?
Yeah, it is. It is very, very tough. They've done a good job of getting their guys ready for this game.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of new guys, like a whole new roster coming in.
Unbelievable.
Hey, by the
man.
way, so apparently Jaden Jackson, the freshman defensive lineman from Oklahoma, was injured pretty badly in the Tennessee game just now.
The defensive lineman, right?
The freshman, very good defensive lineman, been a big difference maker early on for the Sooners. Apparently, Jaden Jackson has a serious injury. Anybody that saw that, please let us know. Somebody asked how Michigan looked today. Terrible in the second half until they busted off the game-winning drive, but they ended up with a pretty good rushing day against USC. That was a brutal loss for USC. I mean, Michigan, I'm not sure they had a first down in the second half to the last drive.
Yeah, then they ripped one off, and Donovan Edwards had a big fumble in that second half that led to the USC comeback. Because Michigan really dominated the game in the first half physically, but USC took over in the second half, and that drive. How about the you had to go for it. It was they were down 24-20 and a fourth down run from the 3-yard line to get the winning touchdown. Coach, you had to like that. It's old time Big Ten football. They had like 2 tight ends and extra offensive linemen. They went fullback. They didn't do anything razzle dazzle. They went power package on USC to win the game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's good old fashioned football.
Hey, that's a welcome to the Big Ten there, Jerry, because USC coming in, you're going to see a lot of that in the Big Ten.
You don't like taking your first loss before the weather gets cold. I'll tell you that when you're moving into Big Ten from the West Coast. Hey, interesting there. 3rd and 8, ran the football, coach.
Yeah.
Tried to run it on 3rd and 8. I don't know about that. Tried to catch him sleeping.
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
All right, another punt for the Warhawks, and that's now 4 punts. They only have 2 first downs. Texas has 9, and have moved the ball outside of even on the drive in which they threw the interception. Arch Manning, they had moved the ball down the field before the pick. But here's another flag on a special teams, a punt here. Longhorns will get the ball again. Hey, our second quarter is brought to you by the SpreadWise app. Make sure you downloaded it to your smartphone, whether you got an iPhone or whatever you're using, you can find it. It's SpreadWise in your app store there. It's your secret weapon for your football elimination pools. Hopefully, if you're still alive. Now it gets tougher every week. Make sure you've got that. It's got an advanced algorithm that helps you organize best choices for not just this week, but the next several weeks. It really is. I have it on my phone. It's really cool. And I'm still alive in the Survivor League that I'm in. Thank you to the SpreadWise app, your secret weapon all season long for your football elimination pool. There it is, the stat on the screen, guys. Arch Manning started 2 for 4, 24 yards and an interception, but since then, 6 of 8, 114 and 2. And Jerry talked about his chemistry with Ryan Wingo, coach. I mean, those guys have spent a lot of time throwing and catching the ball on that second team unit for quarterback and receiver, and you're seeing that show up here. When Ryan Wingo got on the field, Arch immediately started to target him.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I really thought he would enjoy throwing to Isaiah Bond on some quick screens or some routes out in the flat, but I'm sure those will come.
Oh, Isaiah. Oh, Silas Bolden with a second great catch and another deep ball. Safe to say, Arch likes going deep. He likes going deep, and he and Sark are going to get along just fine.
Let me tell you something. Silas Bolden raced by 2 defenders, coach, on this play, 2.
Yeah, he did. Silas Bolden, he's one of the most exciting players on this roster, in my opinion. He showed that last week when he danced around and people couldn't even touch him, much less tackle him.
Texas tried to race to the line to get to it. I think they're going to look at this to see if the ball touched the ground here. Texas tried to do the smart thing and go fast, but the officials got the whistle blown there. But we'll see. It's going to be. I mean, I think he controlled it to the ground, but we'll see here.
Well, let's see. The fact that Texas was going quick makes you wonder if in the booth they're saying, "Hey, this is a maybe. This is a maybe. Hit the gas. Get this ball snap."
Yeah, I think I didn't see anything here. We'll get a look at it here. I didn't see anything to make me think that.
Oh, he got his hands under it. He did. That was great hand coordination to get his hands under that ball after grabbing it and snaring it. Gosh, Silas Bolden, what a catch.
That's a hellacious catch by Isaiah Bolden. I mean, so if that stands, that's 9 of 13 for 180 for Arch. Here's, Coach, what I've just noticed, on both of those deep balls, the one to Bond And now, well, even the one that got a PI on Wingo, UL Monroe's safeties are slow turning and running. They are getting their ass beat deep. The corners have the issues against the speed, but if the safeties can't react and get over the top, I don't know what to tell UL Monroe defensive coordinator. They're in deep doo.
Yeah, they are. I tell you what, Silas Bolden last week really opened up a lot of eyes with his. Reminds me of Aaron. I don't know, Jerry. I don't know how old you guys are, but I was telling some guys earlier this week. He reminds me of Herky Walls. Herky Walls
that's
back
where
in
you were
the
going.
early '80s. I think maybe out of Garland High School. Number 11 wore the same number. You couldn't touch him in a phone booth either.
Right.
And it's really fun to have a guy like that on your team because I'm just waiting for him to take off on a punt return and do some exciting things. But that really was a great play by him, and I think they're scratching their heads wondering how in the world do we stop this Texas offense? And you're right, the safeties are the problem.
The safeties are a big issue.
I think Texas saw that.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody in this chat right now for always supporting On Texas Football. Brett Rasco told us we just went over 60,000 subscribers. Thank you to all you guys that support this channel, man. I really appreciate what you guys do for us. You push us, so thank you.
That's amazing. In a short amount of time, it's grown like crazy, and it's the great content like you're giving right now, Jerry, Coach. And Herky, we got a Herky Walls reference here in the second quarter.
Herky Walls, baby.
I love that.
5'8", about 155, 160 pounds.
Yeah, I remember him. I also remember Cavante Turpin at TCU.
You bet.
He's playing for the Cowboys now. That was undersized, but man, you couldn't get him. This says 100K soon. That is right. This is Jerry is 5-star. There's no doubt about that. Hey guys, the Tennessee Volunteers defense has points on the board. A safety in Norman. Oklahoma had the ball about the 3-yard line and penetration and got tackled the running back tackled in the end zone. It's 12-3. And
they waved this off. They waved this off.
They did. Wow, yep. I thought that was a catch.
Huh.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
Jenny Burton asking where Bobby is. Bobby will be coming up. He was there at the tailgate. I saw him earlier. Bobby's there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that overturn.
I don't either. I thought that was a catch.
Woo. Yeah.
Woo, that was close. All right. So now 3rd and 10. Longhorns thought they had another explosive play, and now they're going to have to fire up a 3rd and long here.
I'm shocked that was overturned.
I agree 100%. Now they'll go for it again to test the safeties and got it. That's going to be Matthew Golden with a big play. You're right, guys. The safeties are just having a hard time running right by him.
That Sark sees slow safeties, Coach, and he's like, bombs away, baby. Here it comes.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Right there. It's a great play by
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, yeah.
I think about what we've seen from Golden so far, and this is why I think he's a one-and-done player. Really good in the short game, really good in the red zone. Now he makes a body control catch on a deep ball. Everything we're seeing from Matthew Golden is telling me he's a one-and-done guy for Texas.
All right, good coverage by Monroe that time. And look at Arch standing in the pocket, but nothing there. And did not get rid of the football. So they're going to take their first sack of this ball game. They've had pressure, Louisiana Monroe has.
Yeah.
But as long as because so far, I mean, how many post routes have they thrown? I mean, Isaiah Bond had the big one on the first scoring drive. Ryan Wingo had the penalty that led to, he was open, but that led to, a touchdown drive. And you got to feel like the Longhorns are going to keep doing that. But Arch showing some toughness there. And a good throw out to the outside to Isaiah Bond, who's going to get the first down, and the Longhorns are into the high red zone again, already up 21-0.
Let me tell you something now. They are respecting Isaiah Bond's speed. They're about 12 yards off on that play right there. Now, they may have to start playing off coverage now. Things may have to change for them. They've gotten beat over the top 4 times, one reversed on a bad call. But, I don't know. They may have to start playing off.
Yeah, well, that was too easy. I mean, Coach, that was like pitch and catch on practice right there. He's just throwing on there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just stop 7 yards out, turn around, and it's already in your in your hands. Arch had to take that. Yeah, now settle up that run game. Here comes Jaden Blue's already got 2 touchdowns on the night. Longhorns looking to add a 4th TD, already 250 total yards for the Longhorns. Arch Manning over 200 yards now with that completion to Bond. 10 of 16, 203, and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Blue over 50 yards rushing now.
Yep, 13 carries, 53 yards. Now tacking on a few more here, so up to about 60 yards rushing for Jaden Blue in his return after sitting out last week. The good thing about this, now I will say this, we haven't seen Jarrett Gibson back in the game, so we're going to have to get a report probably going in at halftime from Sark on Jarrett Gibson. Jaden Blue, the only running back that's played, Jarrett Gibson was in for 1 carry, kind of gimped off. There you see Isaiah Bond wearing a knee sleeve on his left side, on his left leg now, but we have not seen Jarrett Gibson return back to this game.
Oh, we had Jaden Blue on the wheel route and underthrew it. By the way, guys, just saw the highlight. Missouri needed 2 overtimes to beat Vanderbilt today, 30-27, and a missed field goal. Missouri, top 10 team, but that Vanderbilt team scrappy for Clark Lee. They got a couple wins already this year, but man, that's a shocking outcome. By the way, Oklahoma's got another bad injury. They're putting looks like a big guy in a cart. Not a good first half for Oklahoma. They're down 12-3, and they're losing bodies.
Okay, looks like Jarrett Gibson may be back in. That's good to see him back in. That looked like Gibson on the run. Let's make double check. Yes, it was Gibson. So good to see him back in the game. That's his first carry returning since he kind of limped off. And again, limps off now. I mean, he's not working at 100%. I think that's pretty obvious. They wouldn't be taking him right back out of this game. They're pretty much, it looks like they're in a situation where you got to give us something so we can give Jaden Blue a blow every now and again. And now it looks like Ryan Niblett in at running back.
Yeah, they're going to go deep into the running backs on here, and that's a great one right there. Ryan Niblett wearing Rod Baber's old number, looking good.
Hey, Rod, where are you? You still the fastest 21 at Texas? This kid can run. Y'all, it would have been a close race, Coach Shipley.
Here he comes. That's a good move. I love that extension of their run play. And another, oh
my goodness. I told him I'm not so sure. Y'all remember what was it? Rodney Cavness?
Yeah. Grady Cavness?
Yeah.
He was
21.
fast.
Yeah, he was.
He was fast. OU running back carted off the field with a nasty lower leg. What do we know what running back that was for?
No, it was a defensive player, guys. It's number 15.
Number 15. I don't know who that is.
Defensive back.
Yeah, he broke his leg. The big left tackle got a hold of him and just pancaked him, but his leg was underneath him. It was one of those ugly leg injuries. He's going to be done, unfortunately.
Okay. Somebody's saying A&M up 13-3 at the half.
Well, I tell you got to love the way our red zone, the success rate we're having in the red zone this season up to this point. It's certainly a far cry from last year, and one of the top things we were worried about from our offense before this season started.
100%.
Yeah, look, no doubt. Really good red zone. I want to say this too. This is a really good game for Jaden Blue. This is the most carries he's ever had in a football game, guys. So this is a big opportunity for Blue to show an all-around complete game as a running back with a lot of touches in a game because the injuries have forced Sark to put the ball in Jaden's hands running it more than you ideally want to, but 15 carries now, 66 yards.
3 touchdowns now for Jaden Blue, 1 through the air, 2 on the ground, and the Longhorns have blown this thing wide open. It's a 28-point lead and dominance by the Longhorns. They're approaching 300 total yards to 32, and not pretty. Real pretty game. Not pretty in Norman where it's 12-3 Oklahoma. Tennessee leading Oklahoma in that. I was trying to look up number 15's name so we make sure he's going to be done for the year. But Jaden Blue into the end zone. Second quarter brought to you by the Spreadwise app, your secret weapon for your football elimination pool. Go ahead.
It's Kendall Dobie, one of their best defensive backs, who was questionable coming into the game.
Yeah, and that's going to be a season ender. He broke it. His leg got bent underneath him. The big left tackle for Tennessee got out on. He was pulling and it just didn't go well for 15 that time. But that's unfortunate because that's the second guy. You mentioned the other kid, Jackson. That's 2 Oklahoma defensive players that have left on a cart so far in that first half.
And they already had offensive line issues and wide receiver injury issues this year. So injury bugs hitting Oklahoma pretty hard right now.
Well, and I'll say this, Tennessee's only up 12-3, but they're a very physical football team. I mean, they're real physical for Josh Heupel. And, that's a personal match for Josh Heupel, of course, was fired in 2014, helped them win a national championship as a player. A lot of people thought he may be the heir apparent to Bob Stoops and said it went to Lincoln Riley. But this Tennessee team is pretty impressive right now.
Yeah, for sure. They're really good up front on the offensive line, and their starting left tackle, Zalance Hurd, isn't even playing tonight. Defensive front, really good. Can get after you, rushing the passer. Also plays the run well. They're really good up front. Everybody talks about Nico, kind of the speed, how they spread you out, coach. But Tennessee is really good up front on both sides of the ball. They're playing like they're one of the best offensive lines in the country early on.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, they came into this game number 2 in total offense and number 2 in total defense so far this year. And obviously so far they've passed the test in Norman. They're dominating on the defensive side, and Josh Heupel's got himself a good team. And maybe announcing themselves in this game, guys, is kind of that, we know it's Texas and Georgia at the top, Alabama, Ole Miss. But with Missouri struggles today with Vanderbilt, it might be Tennessee as that next team in this conference to really challenge. I mean, LSU won today, beat UCLA, but didn't look impressive, I didn't think. But this Tennessee team is as advertised so far.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just saying they seem solid all the way around. I haven't watched them much this year, but they're giving Oklahoma all they want and then some.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold's having a rough go. He's just got hit hard and drove to the ground. He's struggling.
There we see Hall of Honor honorees: Colt McCoy, Marquise Goodwin, Alex Okafor. 3 of Coach the greats to play at Texas. Obviously, Colt McCoy, unbelievable career. Alex Okafor, unbelievable career. Marquise Goodwin, 2-sport unbelievable career.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And it happens to be, I think my son Jordan was teammates with all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great young guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to see when Jordan goes into that Hall of Honor. That'll happen here soon enough, right?
Well, he already did.
He's already in. I was going to say,
yeah.
I thought he was. You're right. I thought he was.
He did. Yeah, these guys were a little later because Jordan unfortunately finished his NFL career before they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Injuries.
Yeah, Colt played a long time as a backup quarterback and a solid player in the NFL. And Colt was the quarterback, guys, the last time that Texas was number 1 in the country, obviously, 2008. And I learned this week, Jerry, it surprised me, having covered this program for so long, that 3-game stretch in October of 2008 when they beat Oklahoma, beat Missouri and Oklahoma State back-to-back, then lost to Texas Tech. That was the only time Mac Brown had a number 1 team. Texas. That surprised me. Yeah. Obviously, the 2005 year, USC was number 1 all year long until Texas beat them. But that was the only 3-game stretch for Mac. I mean, Darrell Royal coached in 25 games when Texas was number 1, but it'd been a while, and Mac Brown only did it 3 times, all in that year.
That's and the other thing is Oklahoma was really rolling at that time.
That's right.
And I mean, they had some number 1 time at number 1, obviously during some of those years. Along with USC.
All right, there's a good run by Louisiana Monroe. They need that on 2nd and 10 to give themselves a chance here on 3rd down. They've only got 2 first downs so far and 40 total yards and already down 28-0. We'll see if they can pick up this first down. But they're having a good interview with Colt McCoy, who I'm sure is happy that his Longhorns are back at top of college football, and pretty good quarterback room that he's watching tonight.
It was really cool. I was down by the field before the game, and his 3 little kiddos are running around wearing the 12 jerseys. They're kind of playing a little rough and tumble. The girls are rough and tumble, Coach, by the field before the game. But it was cool to see him, Colt, his wife, his 3 kids out there all wearing the 12 jerseys.
Yeah. Great family.
Cool. Well, just a great guy. It's funny. I remember when Colt was a freshman and then a redshirt freshman, he's told the story that, when Vince decided to go to the NFL, he had to call him and tell him it's your team now. He was the shyest kid, Jerry and Coach. I mean, he was so shy. coming out of West Texas, and you go to interview him, and he was a man of a young guy of not many words back then, and he has really come a long way, and obviously became one of the best quarterbacks in the program's history, and rightfully now into the Hall of Honor. A two-time Walter Camp Award winner for the best player in college football. And if not for that loss in 08, guys, the dreaded Texas Tech game, the Michael Crabtree, Blake Gideon game, might have won a national championship, might have won a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I think I think you're probably right. Unfortunately, that game cost us very dearly.
Yes, it did. Oh, that one still hurts. I still have a lot of Longhorn friends who say that was their worst loss. That they there's 84 Georgia, that 01 Big 12 championship, the Alabama national championship game, but that one still stings, because I think your son was on that team, Bob, and that team had every chance to win the national championship. They didn't get a chance because the way the tiebreaker rule was, but that team was good enough to beat either Oklahoma or Florida for a national championship that year, I believe.
Yeah, I think they were too. It was just a game. Jordan didn't have a good game. I mean, it was just crazy the way that game transpired, and the momentum that you could just feel it. And man, we just had a hard time overcoming it.
Jahdae Barron with a play there, coming off that corner, getting his hands up, batting the pass away, setting up a 3rd and 7.
I tell you what, in the secondary fun, after all the grief Rod Baber and I gave them all off season.
That coach, that may be there's a lot of impressive things when you're number one, but the connectivity, the communication connectivity of that secondary is leaps and bounds compared to last year.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Well, the length, the athleticism, we talked about the football IQ that those guys play with as well. 3rd and 7, other running play guys, and Louisiana Monroe's tried that twice. You wonder if they'll go for it now. I got to assume they're going to punt, but the young LaFowl with the tackle.
Yeah, they're having a little success with that little draw they're running.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going for this one.
Yeah,
they are. Midfield.
I mean, I got to tell you, though, when you're last 2 3rd and 8s, they've run the football. That tells you a lot about how they feel about throwing the football and pass protection. They've only attempted 3 passes farther than 10 yards down the field all season. That's a wild stat when you've had, 120 offensive snaps through 2 games. They only attempt 3 passes more than 10 yards. That's a crazy stat in college football.
Yeah, that is crazy. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that is big call here for the head coach of the Warhawks to try to get this first down. If they don't, Texas is going to have great field position again, already up 4 scores. And keep an eye out of Norman. Jackson
back-to-back quarterback turnovers there. Strip sack fumble, Nico. Jackson Arnold pass behind the line of scrimmage, turnover back to Tennessee.
Yeah, and Jackson Arnold's done that twice where he had just thrown it out to the flat, and it's really inaccurate. And it's not even close. He's having a hard time, and we kind of expected that coming in, but we'll see if they overrule that, or if that wasn't indeed a backwards pass. So in essence, a fumble, or it was a forward pass. They're looking at that right now. But I'm looking at it right now, Jerry. So far, Jackson Arnold 7 of 16 for 54 yards. He's been sacked a bunch. He's got at least 1 interception. I think he's been sacked 4 times. He's having a hard day.
Makes you wonder if they wish they'd have had their old quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Little quarterback power there on 4th and 2. Got the first down. First down for Warhawks on the 49.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that you're either going to nail the coffin on your game chances, or you're going to keep the ball away from Texas. And
Texas.
So I'm not surprised they went for that and been able to extend their drive.
Approaching 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Texas would love to get the ball back and score again before half, because they do get the ball coming out of halftime. Remember, tough run right there by 22 for 8 yards. He's a tough running back.
Yeah, he is. Keeps those legs moving, and his weight going forward. Stout little back.
We're not watching the Oklahoma game. Obviously, I'm getting texts from people that are, but Oklahoma's pass rush is real this year. I'll say that. Now, it'll be interesting to see with Oklahoma. People are talking about in the chat, how do these injuries as the season moves along impact them? They go to Auburn next week. I mean, Gentry Williams is already out in this game. Is he out for the year? Nothing's been said, I don't think. But they've had 2 major injuries in this game. And if Gentry Williams is done for the year, that's 3 crippling injuries for the Sooners defense.
Yeah, they're keeping them in this game. There's no question about it. Their defense has given them some opportunities here, which is this game reminded me going in Tennessee, Oklahoma, the Texas-Michigan game that Texas was going to have to turn the ball over if Michigan was going to have a chance, and that's been the case so far. Tennessee has turned it over, and Brett Venables' defense has given them trouble, but they're still up 9 points and into the red zone or into the Oklahoma territory again after the Jackson Arnold fumble. So we'll keep an eye on it. Louisiana Monroe, their deepest penetration in the Longhorn territory so far tonight. They're in almost to the 35-yard line here with a 1st and 10. Have not scored a point. Obviously, Longhorns already have a shutout onto their resume this year, but Louisiana Monroe threatening their first points, and that's going to help too.
Yeah, that's going to be a targeting on Taft. He'll be out for this game, I would think. He'll be out for this game, and that means he's out for the first half of Mississippi State.
No, just this game.
If it
would have happened in the third or fourth quarter.
Oh, that's right. We're still in the first half. So he's out for the rest of this game.
Tell you what, ULM, that's a very well-designed play, and they're having a little success running the ball, obviously, which opened up that pass play. That's a shame losing Taft Daddy because he's really coming into his own this year. He's what we thought he was, I think.
Let's see what they call here.
Yeah, he kept his head up, but at the same time, he did deliver a blow to the head and shoulder area, which is the definition of the penalty. But I don't know that he targeted him, but he was a taller player, so the crown of his helmet did end up making contact just because he's a 6-footer and that the receiver was 6'4", it looked like. So
they have an ineligible receiver downfield as well.
So they'll offset, but you'll lose Taft. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Another Sooner defensive lineman down. That's what we're getting in the chat. Tell us who it is when y'all know.
95. I think that's what I saw. I'll look for it again.
Yeah, it is 95.
So is that Stone, the other freshman?
No, 0. He's 0.
Yeah, he's 0. Oh, it's Terry. Okay, Terry.
Yeah, this has been a brutal first half for Oklahoma. Their offense is a mess, and they're just losing bodies. I mean, this Tennessee team's real physical, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Very physical team up front, both sides of the line of scrimmages, Tennessee. And it's why they have a real chance to make some noise because they got the skill players. They have the offense to spread you out, and they have a power run game. But they're really good on offensive and defensive lines. Very good. He's gingerly walking off, Lance Miles. Thank you for the updates, by the way. Baylor up 24-10 on Colorado. I believe that game's in Boulder, correct?
Yes, I took Baylor in that game. But here we go. Texas is now we'll see. I'm not going to be shocked if they overrule this Taft targeting and just call it a personal foul, but we'll see. I would like to see that because you don't want to not have him next week in the first half against the Bulldogs. But you won't. You guys are right. It'll just be this game. It'll just be this game.
That was my bad. I started that. I was thinking it was second half, but we're still in the second quarter. But yeah, so look, UL Monroe's got a little something going in the run game on this possession, Coach. I mean, they're Texas is not owning the line of scrimmage.
No. Thankfully, they haven't really ripped off any long runs. I haven't seen really any big obvious fit problems with the Texas defense so far. It's just a matter of ULM and their offensive linemen and the running backs getting after us a little bit.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they've been. They do look like a team with fresh legs that had the week off last week, and they don't have any points. But this is their best opportunity to put points on the board right here, and we'll see. I think they're reviewing the targeting call to make sure that it was targeting on Michael, but we'll see. And in Norman, Tennessee's now inside the 20-yard line, looking to really stretch this lead and put Oklahoma in a world of hurt on their home field. Josh Heupel's team starting to take control of the line of scrimmage in this game. But we'll get a ruling on this. Our first half is our second quarter brought to you by the Spreadwise app. It's your secret weapon for your football elimination pool. So popular they are, having to pick one winner every week, but you'd only use the same team once throughout the course of a year. So if you make it all the way to the end, you could win a pool of money, but you need the secret weapon, which is what the Spreadwise app is. It's an advanced algorithm that helps you make that pick every week. What do you think, guys, about targeting there?
It's going to be close.
All right, so it looks like he's still in the game, so they must have overruled that. Yeah, he kept his head up the whole time, which that's usually, you use your face mask, come in up, don't lower your head in the crown of your helmet. And looks like they've overruled that. So it's 1st and 15. They went ahead and accepted the illegal man downfield penalty. Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
Yes, they did.
Okay, good. Well, there's another big play. This is a nice looking drive by Louisiana Monroe. They're moving the football. Big tight end. That's a big boy there, 88.
That's a big boy. Very well designed play. Get you thinking about run and start running the play action.
A good break for the Longhorns. Michael Taft still out there making plays and made a tackle there after a big gain and a first down.
Yeah, that is a large human.
That's a big dude.
That's a big old boy. Yeah, man, 88. Come on now.
All right, so first time UL Monroe's been in the red zone, obviously. They're up over, they're 93 yards in the game. Now they're going to run it downhill on Texas.
Well, his backs do a great job of keeping their feet moving. They do not give up. If that initial the initial hole at the line of scrimmage is not there, they just keep churning.
Yeah, I like this Louisiana Monroe team. They play hard, they play physical.
Yeah, they do.
They're just not as good as Texas. We know that, but and their safeties are slow. We found that out in this first half. Longhorns have gone after that position, but up front they look like a team that they'd be competitive in their own conference.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, this guy, he's done an amazing job. 74 new players. You mentioned it. We're at the 2-minute warning, I guess, not their 2-minute timeout in college football. But 74 new players turned over the whole dang thing, Coach Shipley. He's got these kids playing hard, and that's number one when you come in and you're trying to change culture and change the attitude and the program and the belief in themselves. And he's doing that. Hey, Britt Rasco, a question. He's talking about Ruston, Louisiana. I took it to Longview last night. Ruston High is tremendous. I think they lost in a state championship in football, or maybe won it last year. They either won it in football and lost in basketball, or lost in football and won in basketball. They have a run of talent, and that includes Aiden Anding, the corner commit that Texas was after that committed to LSU. But they have one of the very best sophomores in the country, a kid that's about 6'7", 220, plays a X receiver, tight end. He'll be a tight end long-term, big-time basketball prospect. Ruston High has some players. Former LSU standout player Kyle Williams is the head coach at Ruston High.
You say 6'7"? Playing receiver? Come on, man.
And tight end. He has about 10 offers in basketball, too. He's a legit dude. Now, by the way, somebody's saying touchdown, Bowling Green, 13-10 A&M up in the third quarter.
Yeah, Kurt Copeland asking about Kelvin Banks and Hayden Connor. I don't know that Hayden Connor is the most consistent offensive lineman on the team outside of Kelvin Banks, but he has been playing impressive, in my opinion. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know about tonight. We'd have to grade the film, but Jake Majors has been tremendous this year.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yep. Had a conference award coming out of the Michigan game for the offensive lineman of the week. Kelvin Banks, obviously on the right side, Cam Williams has gotten one of those. Kelvin Banks is just Kelvin Banks. And, yeah, Hayden Connor, the thing with he and Jake Majors, guys, they've played so many football games. I mean, I think they've combined to make 70-plus starts at Texas. That's a good combination, especially when you have 5 stars at right guard and a 5-star left tackle and an NFL player at right tackle. That's pretty good. That's why Texas has one of the best lines in the country.
Tennessee about to extend their lead on Oklahoma.
This
They're
Oklahoma
knocking on the door. Not quite.
Oklahoma defense about to give out. I mean, their offense is doing nothing at all, and it's almost like the defense is wearing down here.
Somebody asked about Derek Williams in the chat. He was the other player held out tonight. It was Quinn Ewers, obviously. Derek Williams held out with a hamstring. And that's not surprising. He did not look good chasing an angle against UTSA on that touchdown last week. So not surprising there to Derek Williams. He only played 12 snaps in that game last week, and we were wondering why. now we know has a little bit of a hamstring issue. So they set Derek Williams out tonight. So Ted, that's why Taft's staying in this game, even though the game's not really in doubt. That's big because Texas is already down one safety in this game, and they're playing Jordan Rubell in the first half.
Jerry, who in your opinion would have gone in for Taft had he been not
I think Jordan Johnson Rubell would have had to be the guy, unless I don't think they want to move Barron back there because, Xavier Filsaime hasn't been healthy either. We'll see how healthy Jelani McDonald is. I think, so I think Jelani was available tonight.
Here you go, Jerry. Remember when OU fans screamed that Arnold was better than Arch? Yeah, I don't think that's true, but okay. Back to the action now. A shot at the end zone falls incomplete. Good coverage that time. Andrew Makuba back there along with Jade Barron, and it's going to be a third down in the red zone. Texas would love to force a field goal here. They still have a minute 55 to have the ball, and of course they could double dip here for Texas because they get the ball after halftime too. I wonder if Sark will be aggressive when they do get the ball back, because this is either going to be, either get off the field here, force a field goal, or they'll have the ball first and goal. I'm on a flight to Japan right now. Live stream's the best I can do for Longhorn football. Appreciate you keeping me in the loop. Way to go, Pete. Safe travels, my friend. It's 28-0 Longhorns inside 2 minutes of the first half. Arch Manning's been solid, and the Longhorn defense is going to force a field goal attempt by Louisiana Monroe. Sack Leonga Lafau.
Second sack of the season, guys. Second sack of the season for Leonga Lafau. Coverage sack there. Rolled the pocket a little bit there. But, yeah, by the way, somebody's saying in the chat, Michael Hawkins warming up for Oklahoma. We've been predicting this here. I think Jackson Arnold's in trouble at Oklahoma. I think Michael Hawkins will be their quarterback eventually.
Jerry, he's
great
been
play by Taft. Oh, that's Lafau, yeah.
How does somebody in the chat not say Lafau got some booty tonight?
Booty goes down.
I expect more from the chat, man.
He took that dude down. By the
yeah. All right, 28-0 Texas. We'll see about a field goal for Louisiana Monroe. Oklahoma trails 19-3 as Josh Heupel was kind and kicked the extra point. Didn't go for two to try to make it an even 20. And they may have to go to a new quarterback, Jerry, because as you predict, you told me that I will vouch. I know you've been saying it on the stream here. Over 60,000 subscribers now have heard you, but you told me that at SEC Media Days in Dallas. You said you're hearing that Jackson Arnold getting pushed by the young kid out of the Metroplex. And tonight, like there've even been throws where it's just a quick screen to the outside and it's 4 feet wide of the receiver going the wrong way. It's like he completely no confidence. And number 9's coming in the game for Oklahoma.
Look, here's the thing. I think it's twofold. One, if your offensive line's struggling, you need a playmaker at quarterback. And Jackson Arnold can go run a good time at a combine and test well. That doesn't mean you're a playmaker at the quarterback position. They need a playmaker because their offensive line is really injured. Their receivers have been injured. They don't have a great running back they can just hand the ball to. They need a playmaker at that position. Here's the other thing, though. Jackson Arnold was a one-read guy at that offense in high school. There's a developmental curve with him if he gets to that developmental curve. Then the flip side is Michael Hawkins has been training with Kevin Murray in Dallas since he was in 6th grade. Kevin Murray is really, really good with quarterbacks. And I know Kyler Murray's a son's a freak talent athletically, but Kevin Murray is really good training quarterbacks.
Well, and here it is. The first play was a terrible snap to the young quarterback, and the second is a quarterback draw, and he picked up 10 yards. Michael Williams did, and a great point by Jerry. So Oklahoma trying to find a spark with a backup quarterback. Last time we saw them do that, this kid named Caleb Williams, and he was really good.
That's exactly what I was thinking when y'all were talking about that. I'm glad they're getting it out of their system now, and instead of waiting until second or third quarter against us.
Well, we talked about it on our radio show all week long. If you're 108th in total offense, against the teams that they had played, the Houstons, the Temples, Tulanes, nothing against those programs, but that's where you should be sharpening yourself for SEC play, and they're in the hundreds in offense. It's a lot like the Michigan offense, just a struggle, and now they've made a change at quarterback, at least here for this game, and he's already made 2 plays with his legs. It's going to be third down, but either way. All right, Texas now trails up 28-3, a field goal on the board, but the defense stiffened after a good drive, Louisiana Monroe's best drive, without a doubt. Texas still leads total yards 275-90, but 28-3 the score. Longhorns have a chance to, as I like to call it, double dip here. They can get some points before the half, and they get the ball coming out of half, already up 24 points here in this football game, or 25 points. in this game. And so far, guys, what do we think of Arch Manning? 11 of 18, 214, the 2 touchdowns, and the interception. A rating of 186.5. Not bad.
Throwing a deep ball really well. Now, some of that's UL Monroe. Safeties are Archer's put the ball in the money, even the one overturned the Silas Bowl, and he's made some really good throws down the field. This is a big chance. Texas has 2 timeouts. Coach, 2-minute drill opportunity with a young quarterback making his first start. You know, Sark's not just going to run the ball and go into halftime. This is a great chance for Arch.
It's a great chance for Manning to be able to work the clock in a 2-minute offense drill. That's all this is.
Yeah, and all this, Coach, is so invaluable for your young quarterback. They're testing those safeties again. That one got knocked down to Isaiah Bond on the first down. But it's invaluable, right? I mean, I don't want to say this is an ideal situation because you don't want your starting quarterback to be hurt. But to get Arch these reps now in a game that they're comfortably up on and just better than, and you got to take the first team reps all week long. And now, as we've talked about, the 2-minute drill here into halftime coming out. I mean, this is great learning lessons for a young quarterback who may be called upon again at some point.
Yeah, and Texas OL doing an okay job, not a great job here.
Oh, that's a miss there by Arch. That was a walk-in touchdown for Jaden Blue if it's in stride, and he overshot it, and Texas had a chance at a big one there.
Yeah, that's a missed throw. You got to make that throw. That's one you want back.
Yeah, I don't know about that first down throw. That wasn't a very kind of throwing that thing into double coverage, and your guy didn't have any space at all from the safety there. So bring up an interesting third down call.
All right, that's going to be offsides on ULM. Nice job by Cam Williams to recognize it and jump into the neutral zone to get the 5 yards. And now it'll be 3rd and 5, manageable instead of 3rd and 10. Arch Manning just missed his 3rd touchdown pass there. That would have been a touchdown for Jaden Blue. Jaden would have had 4 in the first half if they hit that throw on the wheel route. That was one I'm sure Sark had been waiting on and, called it at the right time and got the coverage he wanted, and the quarterback just missed that throw. Look at Cam, touch him in the face. Nice job. Cam's not a guy you want to mess with either. I promise you that.
He looks even bigger warming up.
All right, 3rd and 5. Longhorns would love points before the half. Arch, you have to make a throw here. And he did not. It's going to be picked off, incomplete, off the receiver, Karam. And Louisiana Monroe in business now. Might have forced that one in, guys. It's kind of like the first down throw, Coach, didn't look like there was a lot of separation there.
Yeah, not a good series for Arch at all. Just not. Yeah, and of course, that ball wasn't perfectly placed, but a tipped ball. I always told the players a tipped ball is caught ball, usually by the other team. And that's certainly the case here.
He's trying to get Jaden Blue out of the backfield in that little angle we're out, and put some mustard on it and hit him in the face mask. And it's going to be the second interception for Arch Manning in this game.
Yeah, look, could Blue have caught it? I think Arch would have needed to take a little mustard off that ball. Catchable football, but second interception there for Arch, not his best series. The missed throw to Blue was the big one.
Yeah, that's one they'll want back. I mean, that was 7 points. I mean, Blue was uncovered, busted coverage by Monroe, and that was a walk-in. Good defense that time. Manny Muhammad is pretty sticky in coverage, guys. I mean, this guy is all over people. What was it from the movie Hoosiers?
Bell to the butt.
What is that movie Hoosier? The Line in Hoosiers with Gene Hackman. I want to know what flavor of chewing gum he's chewing by the end of the game, and I think Manny Muhammad could tell you that. Sudden change defense here again for the Longhorns. First time they Arch threw an interception, there was a stiff defense that forced a punt. You'd love to do that again here because they're not in field goal range yet. Unless they have Brandon Aubrey as their kicker or Kaimi Fairbairn. I don't know. There may be an NFL range at this point, but we'll see. 3rd down now. Longhorns looking to get off the field here, or at least force a long field goal. There you go. You want Arch humbled and meaningless game instead of a big game. These are great experiences to get under his belt. Oh, man. The word I keep using is invaluable. You cannot ask for better for your back. I mean, because, yes, he's a young quarterback and his last name is Manning, which brings all the hype. But Coach, he's a young quarterback who's your backup, who could be you could be in the middle of the Georgia game, and he's got to come in the football game.
Yeah, and he's human, and I don't know that he expected to get hit as many times as he's been hit in this first half. He hasn't been hit a lot, but he's had to throw the ball under duress many times.
Oh, good play there. Benda had maybe a tackle, but they're going to now they're running their hurry up offense here. Louisiana Monroe's had a good little couple series here, offense and defense, and getting things done.
Yeah, obviously, gotta force a field goal here. That's pretty obvious. But Texas needs to tackle a little bit better. Second half of this football game.
Yeah, that was
they
David.
Got to rally to the football and get the guys down a little bit better. Whether it's running backs, whether it's wide receivers.
We're on a live stream.
All right, 3 seconds to go in the half now. That's good coverage again, that time by Gavin Holmes in the back corner of the end zone. They're going to have to kick a field goal.
Not a great way to end the half for the Longhorns offensively.
No. And again, I think
we need some adversity. We need to overcome some adversity. And this is not a team that's really going to threaten to win the game, but they are certainly good enough, as anybody on our schedule is good enough to give you some adversity. And there's no doubt, as one of our viewers mentioned a while ago in the chat, that it's good. It's good for Arch to have to face some adversity now and overcome it and work through it before it's a game we're playing against a team who, it's going to be a much closer game.
All right, so we'll see if they can make this field goal. Longhorns will be happy to get to the half, and Arch Manning can make some changes. I'm watching this this Colorado Baylor game now, guys, at the halftime of the Oklahoma game, and it looks like I think Colorado just lost their kicker. He was I don't even know what the play was, but he's getting carried off the field right now. He wasn't on a kick; it was on a different play. Jace Feely, AJ Feely's son. And Colorado may have to play the second half without a kicker. Already down 24-17. Coach, that's never fun.
No, it's not. Here's the kick.
Oh, bad snap.
All right,
bad
Longhorns
snap.
are going to go to half up 25 points, 28-3. I think they'll take that. Arch Manning got a lot to learn from there. He threw 2 touchdowns, threw 2 interceptions, and missed another touchdown pass. But, Coach, your thoughts on what you saw in the first half, big picture?
Well, I think Louisiana Monroe came and they're playing the best they can possibly play right now, which is good. We needed that. We needed them to do that. And like I said, I don't want to sound repetitive. We need to be able to overcome some adversity and be able to brush it off and move on. And even though 28-3, you're not really facing a lot of adversity, but these last 2 ULM drives have been, something to certainly we can't go in thinking the game is over, even though I don't think ULM could come back. But it's still a fight. I mean, they're hitting us in the mouth, and that's a good thing. People aren't just going to roll over because you have that number 1 behind your school's name.
All right, just heard I was listening to Sark on his way to the locker room talking about the turnovers are unacceptable. Got to get that cleaned up. And the third down defense he wasn't happy with there in the second quarter when Louisiana Monroe was able to move the ball a couple times. They got to get that clean. But Mike says on a super chat, thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Plenty of things to learn from for Arch. Defense looks sleepy. Also, did Jackson Arnold get benched? Yes, all 3. Sleepy, I don't know. I think the defense allowing 100 yards total, 3 points total, and a missed field goal there. I don't have much issue with the defense. I think you're right, Jerry, about tackling a little bit better. I think Sark just mentioned, in that second quarter when they moved the ball, the third down defense wasn't great. But again, 2 of 7 on third down, 101 total yards, 3 points. I think you'll take that. Meanwhile, the offense has 28 and probably left some points out there.
It definitely left some points out there. I mean, even if you just talk about the overthrow to Jaden Blue there, that took points off the board. Now, we'll see. Maybe Jaden Blue's ankle couldn't have let him get to the end zone, but you figure it did with looking at the ULM safety speed in this game or lack thereof. they definitely left points on the field, even if you're just talking about that one play. Got lucky bad snap on field goal attempt at the end of the half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Longhorns, meanwhile, 5 of 6 on third down, which is strong. But yeah, the interceptions, I think both. I mean, he forced both. And Coach Shipley, I said to Jerry when we were watching the first quarter when he threw the interception, it does remind you a little bit of Quinn Ewers as a freshman, right? That there's going to be some great moments, and then there's going to be some head scratchers, and that's just the course of a young quarterback.
Yeah, that I think that's a great analogy. Certainly is reminiscent of his freshman year, but you know, you look at a quarterback, 11 of 21, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. That's not bad. It's those 2 interceptions after that. And again, you know, a tipped ball may not have been a bad throw, but it's one of those things, as we were talking about, he needs to learn when to take a little bit off of a pass and when to zing it in there. And I think that was just a little bit too hot for the receiver to handle. And, you know, when you tip a ball like that and you allow it to flutter in the air, it's not more times than not, it's not going to turn out good for you.
Yeah. And you wonder, Jerry, if he was a little bit frustrated because he knows he missed the Jaden Blue throw that was there. And then he came back and threw a fastball into Jaden Blue's face mask on the third down play on the angle route. And you wonder, the little red ass on that throw, it looked like. But yeah, this is that invaluable, you know, experience to go into halftime. You know, I'm sure Sark will chew on him a little bit, and they'll come back out and he'll get to get it fixed in the second half.
Were you guys expecting Jaden Blue to come in and play this game?
Well, yeah, he was where we were. He was warming up before the game. He looked good. Now, what you didn't expect is for Jaden to have to touch the ball this much in the game, because Jarrett Gibson dinged his ankle on his first carry of the game, and he's only committed for one more play. So Jaden Blue, this is the most action in the game he's seen his entire career at Texas. Running routes, carried it 15 times. So you're watching a more tired Jaden Blue too in the first half of this game. He's having to take on more of a workload coming off the injury than expected. Because this is where those running back injuries are catching up. Texas doesn't want to play Tri Weisner tonight. Jarrett Gibson kind of dinged his ankle again, first carry. And so you're sitting there with Jaden Blue is your only scholarship running back Texas really wants to go to unless they bring in Velton Gardner, and they haven't done that. They brought in Ryan Niblett for a swing pass in the red zone. So Jaden Blue's having to take a lot. He's never carried the ball more than, I think, never touched it more than 13 times in a game. I mean, he's touched it. I don't know how many catches he has. He has 15 carries, but he's been targeted probably 5 times in the passing game in the first half. So he's been a part of 20 or 21 plays to him in the first half of this game. That is much more than he's ever had in the game. So he's carrying a heavy load today, Coach. Yeah,
he really is. And if he's healthy, that's good. He needs to play his way back into shape. And but just think, if he wasn't playing today, I mean, yeah, that could be a problem. And really, you know, we rushed for 61 yards in the first half with a running back room is as banged up as ours is. That's not that surprising, but certainly all of us would like to see our running game get going a little bit more when we have a healthy running back room.
And by the way, Bowling Green now up on Texas A&M. Is that in the fourth quarter for the chat? They're up 20-17 now, or 20-13?
You know, I wondered about that. Bowling Green played number 8 Penn State to a touchdown last week. So at Penn State. So obviously they're not going to be too intimidated by the crowd at Kyle Field, and it sounds like they're giving the Aggies all they want.
It's A&M's actually up 20-17. Sorry. But Bowling Green just had a big 40-yard TD run.
Coach is right, though. That's a good team. Well, they shouldn't be playing with an SEC team, you know, in their building. But it's a quality group. But at the same time, A&M struggling. That's a struggle. And I always have to tell people, as someone who was born in Ohio, Bowling Green is in Ohio. There's a school in Bowling Green, Kentucky called Western Kentucky, but Bowling Green is in Ohio. Okay, just make sure you remember that. There's two it gets confusing sometimes, but Bowling Green, Ohio, then Bowling Green, Kentucky, two different places. Western Kentucky is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. But that's where that game is. Hey, guys, so far the games today, Mississippi State, the Longhorns' next opponent. Now that the Longhorns are up 28-3 here in this game, here at our One Source Gas halftime show, or on the On Texas Football Channel, One Source Gas of Central Texas. Hey, Mississippi State, Jerry, not very good. I mean, Jeff Levy, year one, they won their first game easily and then have not won since. They got beat by Arizona State, gave up over 300 yards rushing in that game, turned around and lost at home. Speaking of schools from Northwest Ohio, Toledo came in and put 40 on them. And then this game with Florida coming in, Billy Napier firmly on the hot seat, put up 45 points. Jeff Levy's defense not very good.
No, and Mississippi State just put out that Shapen's done for the season.
Oh, wow.
So that injury late in the game, his ankle, I think, knocked him out for the year. Obviously, that's what Mississippi State just released. People are asking, DeAndre Moore, that first third down catch, he got hit. He kind of looked like he had a little bit of a limp. He went to the tent. They took him in the locker room. I don't know if it was a stinger, what it was. Haven't heard specific. Somebody asked about Jarrett Gibson, kind of re-rolled that ankle a little bit on his first carry I think, the third offensive possession for Texas in the game. He's only came on the field for one more play, been on the field one more play. So a lot on Jaden Blue's plate for the Longhorns. 15 touches, 15 carries, 66 yards.
Yeah, we may see some Velton Gardner in the second half. I mean, you might have to because Jarrett Gibson had one carry and Jake Majors got beat by the nose tackle on that play. And as he was getting the ball, Jarrett Gibson was getting rolled up by the tackle. So, and he came in a little bit gimpy with that ankle. And I think he re-aggravated it. Jaden Blue, Velton Gardner, maybe Ryan Niblett getting extra time here. Good breaking news there from Jerry on Blake Shapen, the former Baylor quarterback, injured for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I want to get into that a little bit. This perception, Sark didn't give Arch the easy throws in the flat to get him in a rhythm the way QE does. Seemed to throw deep immediately. Thoughts?
Coach, I think it's because he knew the safeties couldn't run.
Yeah. I don't know how much leeway our quarterbacks have in Sark's offense. I don't know if they can just kind of brush off because in most concepts, you know, obviously you've got your first, second, and even sometimes third read. But I just wonder how much leeway he gives them in terms of kind of overlooking the first read, maybe in the second, just throwing it deep to the third one. Because he likes to throw that. He likes to put some air under the ball. There's no doubt about that. And he's done it quite well. The one throw was a little bit underthrown, but and he hasn't really had a ton of time back there. It seems like they've been getting some pressure on him, and honestly, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, they have a pretty good pass rush team. They had 20 pressures in 2 games. That's UAB and Jackson State, but Texas offensive line is they haven't been great in pass protection that first half. We'll see if they get it cleaned up in the second half. Obviously, Sark wants to throw it deep in this game because of I think the safety issues that UL Monroe showed on tape. Somebody's asking about Ant Hill. I did not see Ant Hill get hurt. I think they're playing some of the other guys. Ant Hill's obviously had a huge impact on the game when he was in. I could have missed something if Sark said something, but I don't think so. Somebody in the chat saying DeAndre Moore stinger, that would make sense. He got hit really hard on that play.
Yeah. And I would say on the question about Quinn Ewers, I mean, again, the Arch game plan, that's why I keep saying it reminds me of Quinn as a freshman, because we saw when Quinn would wonder as a freshman, he'd throw it deep. He'd just take it and let her go. And that's what a young quarterback's going to do if he's not seeing the field. And it gets pretty crowded in there. It comes fast. And we've seen the game slow down for Quinn Ewers and work through some progressions, and it makes it look easy, but you still, it's an easier throw just to let her go on that post route, which he's done a bunch in this game. Guys, real quick on Quinn Ewers, as we talk about Mississippi State, and now their quarterback's injured, Jeff Levy has a very quarterback specific system, and that he now doesn't have. How careful are you with Quinn Ewers this week? Just especially with an injury like he's got, that you don't want to aggravate it. You don't want it to be a lingering, ongoing issue with an oblique. Because it's not just about playing Saturday a week from today. It's really about practicing this week and getting ready where you could, re-aggravate an injury like that. How careful are you with Quinn based on who you're playing in your first SEC game?
I don't like the fact that I don't like thinking about playing him next week. I mean, there's 2 trains of thought here. There's 2 things you can look at. One of them is the fact that, okay, he needs to kind of knock the rust off a little bit. He'll have missed 2 games and had an open week. So he needs to play a little bit against Mississippi State, knock the rust off. The other train of thought, which is what I happen to believe in, is the fact that more important than that, he's a 3-year starter. There's not a lot of rust to knock off. He needs to be 100% healthy when he goes into the game. The injury was a non-contact injury. That's worrisome. That's worrisome to me, which says that he doesn't even have to get hit to re-injure that thing, which you can do in practice and certainly in a game, as we saw last week. So I say sit him 2 weeks, give him that 3rd week off to get ready, and have him come in fresh, ready to go, have a full week practice preparing for OU. That's just my theory.
Yeah, and that oblique, coach. I mean, I just know with a baseball background like I have, I've had it, and you feel good. You're just taking your normal routine swings, and you feel good. Everything's great, and then you really rip it, and you really got to rip one, and all of a sudden it's back, right? It's like a hamstring or a calf strain, or it's just a muscle, and Jerry, as you're rolling and contorting your body and all these things, even in practice, throwing off platform. Yeah, you can re-injure that thing pretty quick, and again, then all of a sudden it becomes a question for Oklahoma and Georgia.
Well, here's the thing: the play I think of where you can re-injure yourself on that, coach, is a play where somebody has you around the waist and you're spinning and trying to get rid of a football. That's where I see like a re-injury of a play like that. So that's the kind of the thing that worries you about those injuries is pitchers get those in baseball all the time, and you have to be really careful not to come back too soon because it'll happen, right? Because it's a physical sport. I mean, and Quinn could be under duress. Somebody could have him around the waist, and he's looking to get rid of a football, and he tries to rotate through that core real quick to get rid of the ball, and then you have a longer issue than you have right now. So it'll be interesting to see how Sark plays, and obviously it's going to come down to how Quinn feels and what he looks like in practice next week.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach, on that. That's kind of I think you have such a talented team and a fortunate opponent next week that's wounded themselves with their quarterback now hurt. They're 1-3. They don't play much defense. You don't want to take any team lightly, and I don't think this team will. But being safe with your quarterback is not taking a team lightly. It's being safe with your own roster. I'm kind of with your line of thinking that you just shut him down until the Oklahoma game because a month from now, or you feel like a month from now, he'll be 100% healthy and ready to go. Because as Jerry said, it's a torque injury, and it's just one that you don't want to be. It will linger, I guess, is the word I would put on it. And you don't want it to. You want it to be fully healed when Texas gets to the meat of the schedule in 2024.
Yeah, and to Jerry's point, in practice, you're cognizant of it, and it's. But in a game, man, you're not thinking about that. You're just like you're saying, you're being twisted down. You're thinking about I got to get rid of the ball. It's just there's just a lot more things can happen in the game because you're not thinking about hurting. In practice, you're taking it easy. The defense is not going to hit you, and you can kind of go through the motions and not injure it. But in a game, if you're not ready and you get put in a difficult situation that torques that thing, then it could be an injury that bothers him for the rest of the season. Whereas we have a chance now to possibly nip it. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about the injury that he has other than what the medical team has told us, what Sark has told us through his medical team. But I say you give him every chance in the world to get healed before we jump into the second game of our SEC season this year.
Bowling Green just missed somebody said 29-yard field goal. 26-yard field goal to tie the game.
Yeah, close game down there. Real quick, guys, and Rod Babers joins us now too. I thought it was pretty cool on College Game Day this morning. I'm sure the Sooners loved it to hear about 10-minute talk about Texas quarterbacks in Norman for College Game Day, and now they're down by double digits to Tennessee. But I thought it was really cool as Jerry drops off from the tailgate. Bob Shipley, Rod Babers, that Pat McAfee is clearly somebody from the Manning camp reached out to Pat McAfee, and because he talked about how on his show on Friday and then on the Game Day program this morning, he said somebody from the Manning camp told him that full endorsement of Arch of Quinn Ewers as their starting quarterback. Arch knows his role. You don't lose your job because of injury. Quinn's the starter, almost trying to douse that whole quarterback controversy thing from the national perspective. We know there's not one locally as we cover it, but the national conversation doused that. But also Rod and Coach saying that somebody in the Manning camp told him he could come back for 2 more years. Like he's happy to play, his full 4 years, graduate. He's not in a rush to get to the NFL. I thought that was pretty interesting. Somebody, got to McAfee and then made sure that was said on College Game Day today.
I think he's operating, at his own pace. It seems that's pretty obvious, right? He's got his own way. He wanted to really forge his own path. That's why he came to Texas rather than going, to Ole Miss or one of the other SEC schools where his family had already kind of laid the groundwork. I think he wanted to, really forge his own legacy as a player. And I think he actually wants to have a legacy here at Texas and not just, of course, Texas be one of the stepping stones on his way to being, a high draft pick and then being a Manning in the NFL. I think it means something to him. And for Longhorn fans, they should feel really, feel grateful and thankful that, they got one of those types of players that he's not looking at Texas as a stepping stone to his next, evolution in his career or the next, next step of his next stage of his career. He's actually looking to build a legacy at Texas. And he has things he wants to achieve here at the University of Texas. It gets me excited just kind of thinking about it as well.
It's rare nowadays to have a player that's not wanting to fast track himself into the league. And in fact, it's crazy. You hear for years, I've heard people talk about it, and it's not just fast tracking to the NFL. They're talking about, I got to get started because I got to get to that second contract, because that's where you make your money. And it's crazy that you have sophomores and juniors in college thinking that, and then we've got the Manning family that's pumping the brakes saying, no, hang on, we're happy. Of course, it's not like he's a kid from South Dallas who really has a family that needs him to get into the league to help out his family in certain ways. He's not in that situation. And so I just really appreciate the fact that family, and apparently Arch too, is savoring every day that he has and making the most out of his collegiate career. Because, you talk to a lot of players, and when your college career, college career is the college scene is so much different than high school. It's like a job, isn't it, Rod? It's like, your most carefree, fun days of playing football are probably high school, because in college, it's like a job. But it's really like a job when you get to the NFL. Obviously, it is a job, but you don't go back to the dorm with your teammates. You don't hang out with them. They're going home to their wife and their kids and all that stuff, So it's just such a different animal that I really appreciate kids that understand where they're at in their life and understand that those things will come as their life unfolds, and it's time for them to move on to the next level.
Yep.
That's a great point.
Right, Coach.
And you lived it, Rod. I've heard a lot of former players, including yourself, Rod, say that, their fun years were their high school years are all their boys they grew up with. And then you choose a school and a recruiting class and you come in. So you got that camaraderie. It changes when you get to the pros, and it's a job now. And as Coach said, you go home to your wife and kids, and everyone does that. But it also, I firmly believe, I think Arch's attitude has kind of slowed Quinn down too. That Quinn is now kind of stopping and smelling the roses a little bit, enjoying being in college. Because Rod, what's the conversation where everybody's having in the NFL right now? These quarterbacks are coming in and they're not ready. They're not ready to handle the NFL. They're rushed onto the field. Here you got a kid in Arch Manning who's uber talented, who's saying, I might want to play all the way out with Sark here. I want to learn from Sark because he's running an offense that they run a lot in the NFL. And while I enjoy playing college football and trying to be legendary, watching Colt McCoy go into the Hall of Honor tonight, and it's something you've said a lot, Rod, that not what can the Texas football program do for you, what can you do for Texas football? That's seems like that's what Arch Manning's all about right now.
Yeah, the fact that he decided to stay, people were surprised, and I think a lot of Longhorn fans were too, and grateful that he had the patience that wanted to stay and and wait his turn behind Quinn Ewers. And the fact that he did that, I think it showed that he was willing to be patient, and that he did whatever he wants to achieve. And we don't know what his goals are. We assume being the best quarterback in the country, he wants to achieve them at Texas. That's pretty obvious. Like he chose Texas for a specific reason when he could have went anywhere else in the country. And, the groundwork is laid for him to be in an SEC country. And he also decided, to wait behind Quinn Ewers, who came back for another year because he wants to be a Texas Longhorn. He wants to be a legendary one.
Yeah. Hey, Michael Taft said it this week when they were, asked about, being number one in the country. He said, that's kind of cool, but if we settle now, we won't be legendary. I mean, that's the mindset in the locker room. All right, third quarter is underway. It's 28-3. Longhorn. I thought the Longhorns got the ball coming out of half. I was wrong on that. Mistaken. My apologies. Louisiana Monroe with the ball coming out of half. They did have some momentum going into the half with that field goal and a couple of good drives. Rod, what were your takeaways from the first 30 minutes of the ball game?
I like I said, I've been saying it all week long, actually, that the vertical passing game is going to come back into the offense with Arch Manning. It's just so weird that he likes to naturally throw it downfield, or Sark trusts him more to throw it downfield. And Fozzie and Lowell even remarked that Sark believes he has a better deep ball naturally than Quinn, and Quinn something Quinn had to work on. So I knew that was going to happen. I did not think they'd throw 8 deep passes in the first half. I think that was the case. I thought they, just 3-4 deep passes. I didn't know they threw 8 of them. That's a lot. So yeah, I mean that was, even to me who saw it coming, still mind blowing. Also, the 2 interceptions we talked about all week long. There are going to be some growing pains with Arch, and that first interception, he just forced it. He really wanted that throw, and you can tell that was something maybe they had worked on in the week. There was something that had been game planned, and Sark told him that'd be open. But as my man Shanahan always says, hey, be coachable. Don't be a robot, though. I told you it'd be open, but it wasn't. So I can be wrong too. And whatever it was that Arch saw in that moment, he was wrong, because Jaden Blue was wide open on the wheel route. I don't know if people will go back and see it. Wide open. Touchdown scoring wide open.
Yeah, we talked about it. He missed that throw. That was walk in.
It would have been a walk in.
Yeah.
So that's still growing pains. And I honestly, considering the flashes that we are seeing, I think it's actually, I'm glad you're getting some of those growing pains and getting some of those lessons versus ULM. That's what this is for. So I like what I'm seeing from Arch. Of course, I like what I'm seeing from the offense. A lot of different guys getting in on it. Silas Bowden getting in finally into the circle of trust. I think that's a big thing. DeAndre Moore injury early on. Seems like Silas Bowden was getting some more attention. Defensively, I would say there's also a lot to work on defensively. Louisiana Monroe found a way to find some holes to run through in that second quarter. I think that'll be something Texas can get back to the drawing board on, to be a little bit more gap sound against the run game at ULM. So I like what I've seen so far, but I think there's some coachable elements. That's all. Coaches love that, right, Coach Shipley? You're up 28-3, but yet you got a lot you can coach guys up on during the season.
And they came to play. This Louisiana Monroe team does look like a team that's had a week off, and they're playing a physical brand. And Jaden Blue's going to have his biggest workload as a Longhorn, without a doubt. Another carry there. Longhorns got off the field on their first drive defensively, another 3 and out and another punt. And now they've got the ball looking to go move. It says, Rod, what do you think of the ULM run scheme? Seems to be effective. Those running backs run hard too, Rod. They got some players. It's like 73, 74 new players on that roster, but they're bringing it. So is Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue's going to get over 100 yards on this drive if he's not careful. But what do you think of the run scheme for the Warhawks?
Yeah, they run an interesting. It's like a pistol. They run a pistol zone run scheme. The pistol can throw off angles to the football. Allows you to have a kind of marry the downhill run scheme with the shotgun run scheme. So it is unique. I'll give it is a unique run scheme. Not a lot of teams in the country do it as much as the ULM does. So maybe that's something Texas could see a little bit more of during the season, if teams seeing that teams are able to observe that Texas struggled with it a little bit versus ULM. And of course, they'll have bigger bodies and better players to do it with. But they specialize in that. That's their expertise. And I think, Texas, had some lapses on a couple of plays in the second quarter, no question.
All right, roughing the passer is the call as Arch Manning gets hit late. And the Longhorns are going to get a free 15 as Jaden Blue's now 18 carries, 84 yards. Jerry Hamilton rejoins us as well as Coach Shipley drops off. Appreciate him. Jaden, you said it, Jerry, this is going to be his biggest workload as a Longhorn. I mean, this is more catches and runs and routes that he's ever run at Texas.
Yeah, this is, I mean, look, running back has not gone according to plan for Sark this year. And good on him. Good on him for getting over 100 yards, but this was not the game plan. This has not been the plan for the running backs this year. Jaden Blue, because Jarrett Gibson rolled his ankle again, first carry. He's only coming one more play, Rod. Jaden Blue's touched it more in this game than I guarantee you Sark had planned and more than he has in his entire career. This is not what Texas ideally wanted to do with the running back position tonight.
Yeah, well, I think it's all season, right? And you just said it. It just from the C.J. Baxter injury to the Christian Clark injury, I just think the football guys are telling you, you're going to be a pass-first team. I know that ain't what you want, but I always say that old Ray Horton quote, football and life are constant struggles deciding between what you want to be and what you need to be. And Texas is a pass-first team because either way you're talking about injuries and depth at running back or you're just talking about overall talent and you're talking about overall identity and strength, they're a passing team, man. That's where their strength is. And I think the more and more the season goes on, unfortunately, I'm knocking on wood, the running back position is going to continue to get nicked up. It just is. But your wide receiver position may get nicked up, but you're so deep. You're so deep there as opposed to other positions. So I think ultimately Jerry just continues to reaffirm what I've already thought, that they want to lead with the pass this year. The pass will open up the run. The run will complement the pass. There's no doubt.
I think we lost Aaron there for a second. So hand off to Jaden Blue there on first and goal, it looked like, because I think there's a legal substitution. So about a 4-yard run there for Jaden Blue. Or a legal substitution made it 1st and 5. So now we're second and goal coming up.
I don't like the workload for Jaden Blue. I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot. What does he got now? Where we up to right now with Jaden Blue? We're up to 20 rushing
20 carries,
how many
20
targets?
rushing attempts, and the ball's on the 2. So yeah, there you go. So touchdown Jaden Blue there on a 2-yard run, and Texas goes up. That's 21 touches
Jared
now.
Gibson. They got Jared out there.
Oh, they got Jarrett Gibson on that one.
Yeah. They want to show you. That's good. I mean, they gotta. Like I said, I love that Jaden Blue can do all of these things. You can showcase him, but man, you're gonna need him for the long haul. I even thought they'd keep him out of this game, but I understand why. If Jaden Blue, he's thinking about his NFL prospects, you don't want to be kept out of multiple games, because one of the knocks on you going into the league is that, hey, can you play through injury? Can you play through pain? Can you play hurt? And everybody's got to do that to a certain extent. And that's part of Jaden Blue saying he can function at a high level even when he's not 100%. But, man, you're going to need him. You're going to need him. That running back room. Like you said earlier in this game, we saw Jerry Gibson, come up a little gimpy. Every game, I feel like we're seeing a running back get nicked up.
And they're holding Wisner out. Wisner, what's interesting about Wisner is I was watching him in warmups. He came out for warmups. He actually had a wrap on his left hamstring. So it was talked about ankle, but he had a wrap on his left hamstring as well in warmups. So he's got a couple of things he's dealing with there.
Yeah. I agree with you, Rod, on that for sure. And I also think Sark wanted to make a point coming out of halftime. They got a 3-and-out, and they didn't throw a pass on that drive, did they? Outside of the roughing the passer,
no.
Almost like he challenged his offensive line to get a better push and let's run this ball. I mean, they went right. I mean, because I don't think Arch threw a pass. He was 11 for 21 at halftime. He's still 11 for 21, and Jaden Blue had 7 carries, and Jarrett Gibson had the capper. That was almost Sark challenging his guys to, hey, come on now, let's push this thing into the end zone.
Well, I think Sark understands that the easy route right now to just blow out ULM is to just throw the football. You can throw it all day on. Yeah, you may have some interceptions, maybe a couple of pass protection issues, but the benefit far outweighs the risk. You would get more big plays. You would end up blowing out. But the growth of this team is more important. And against ULM, you need, this is especially for Arch, right? And you need growth. And he's probably seen enough of that from Arch. Now we need to see the growth in the running game, because they haven't necessarily had a dominant running game. I've been saying it all year. Nobody's afraid of Texas run game. You're afraid of the pass game. Yeah. You're afraid of those weapons in the pass game. You're not afraid of Texas run game. Hell, I dropped back too deep and and give them the run. Hey, give you a light box, take it all day, every day. That means I don't have to defend 6 deep at wide receiver and Gunnar Helm in the passing game. I'll take that all day, every day, rather than having to, defend the weapons for Texas consistently. So I think this is Sark trying to, he's trying to basically he's trying to find a way to get this team to grow in the running game. He's trying to find a way to infuse some confidence in the running game right now.
Well, Rod, I think you nailed it. I think Sark challenged his offensive line because they didn't have a good first half. They gave up too much pressure. They didn't really open up enough run lanes. I think he challenged them in the half. I think he probably said a couple things. Challenged that offensive line to dominate this game in the second half, and also challenged Arch to make better decisions with the football.
Yeah, no, I listened to the post game or the halftime as he was walking in and talking to whatever her name was, and he was not happy. You could tell he was like, the turnovers are unacceptable. We got to get some things cleaned up. Our third down defense has been unacceptable. I mean, hey, look, man. I mean, Sark has put it out there. Their goal is to play for a national championship, and that's how you have to play. You got to play to your bar, play to your standard. And even though you're up 28-3. There's still some things you got to keep getting better. And you said that, Rod. There's coachable moments throughout this game, even though you're up by 32 points.
Yep, and I think that's exactly where Texas wants to be, right? You are right now up, 35-3. You're on your way to scoring, 50-something points against this team, and yet you did not. You can make the argument that you didn't play to your standard, that you were a little bit below your standard. And that just shows you the ceiling for this team ultimately. and that is with their backup quarterback in there and Arch Manning. And yet, hey, the standard is the standard. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses for not being to say, oh, man, our backup quarterback's in there. Oh, man, we had some injuries. Oh, no. The standard is the standard. That's all it is. And we don't even need to have any discussion after that. Did we meet it? No. Okay, fine. And
you're right.
Let's get better. Let's get better.
And you're right, Rod. I mean, it's a backup quarterback, and the running back room, as Jerry has said, has not gone as planned, and you just got to work your way through it. By the way, guess who made a big explosive play? Tennessee just kicked a field goal. It's 22-6. It was set up by Brew McCoy with a big explosive down the field play. Jerry, real quick, your favorite Brew McCoy at Texas memory?
Oh, wow. I mean, there was a story about a workout, and I left after that. I mean, I think that was it.
There you go. Perfect. Got a story. He was here for a hiccup. And now he's playing for. Yeah. But yeah, Tennessee is all over Oklahoma. They've made a quarterback change in Norman as Jackson Arnold's been benched in favor of the freshman. Tell me the freshman quarterback, Jerry. He's from the Metroplex, right? He was South Dallas.
Yeah, Michael Hawkins, Allen High School. His father, Michael Hawkins Sr., was a corner at Oklahoma and in the NFL, played at Carrollton Newman Smith out of high school. Really talented young kid. But think about his first real game actions against this Tennessee team. Hey, put us in and save us real quick. That's a tough ask. Michael Hawkins is going to be a good player for Oklahoma. I think long-term he will be their starting quarterback this year. What they do against Auburn next week, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time at Auburn, too. I watched a little bit of that Alabama game with Auburn today. Auburn's a tough place to play. They're really, really bad up front, and they're getting no movement at all on Tennessee. Tennessee's number 2 defense in the country. But there we go. Texas defense playing. You can tell this is a team that is now playing like their hair on fire up 32, Rod. There's pretty good tongue lashing, I would imagine, at halftime, even though they were winning the ball game.
Yeah, about the run fits, I'm sure. About run fits and gap integrity. And eye discipline, guys. They got caught up on a couple of plays with guys having very undisciplined eyes, and that's how they got those tight ends loose down the field. And one was called back, of course, on a penalty, but still shows you a little bit of what you can exploit versus Texas.
Rasco made a good point. Michael Hawkins moved to Frisco Emerson his senior year. Others a completed pass for -4.
Booty to booty, booty to booty.
Man,
Rob, were you surprised that that amazing catch by Silas Bolden was overturned in the first half?
Yeah, because I didn't see enough to overturn. But if you made I'm a little biased because I'm obviously rooting for the Longhorns. But if you made the interpretation that you thought at the last second, right before it hit the ground, that he didn't have full control of it, I could see that. Like that to me, yeah, that was possible. I thought, hey, there's not enough to overturn it. That was my opinion. There's not enough evidence to overturn from what I saw. But if you wanted to make a different interpretation that you thought at the last second, right before he hits the ground, that he didn't have control, you can make that argument. That argument could be made. I thought he did catch it though, and I was a little disappointed that they decided to call it back. But
this was an ugly special teams play right here.
What are we calling here?
Yeah.
La Monroe's already been called for a illegal formation on a punt. I don't know what this one is, but Texas is going to get the ball back. But there's a flag on the punt here.
Texas came after this punt. Really, the first one they've come after this year, so it was an illegal.
Oh, but
Texas held on the return, and it was illegal formation on the punt. Texas came after that punt. Really, the first one they've come after this year I can remember.
Well, I just saw a stat that Oklahoma's last 6 drives, they've run 12 plays. No. Yeah, 12. They went 1 play, 3 plays, 1 play, 3 plays, 3 plays. Oklahoma not moving the ball at all against Tennessee. They're down 22-3. Texas is up 35-3 over the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. And here we go. Are they going to repunt, or what's going to be the call? Offsetting penalties.
Yeah,
I think they're going to repunt.
That's the second time Monroe's been illegal formation on a punt tonight.
Texas might have tipped that one too.
Oh man, Saunders Bolden is a woo. That dude is bold, man. Not pun intended, I guess.
He's fearless, man. He's fearless.
Wow, I can't believe he picked that up.
Oh, that's got to be a penalty.
That's crazy.
Wait, did they not throw a flag on that? He picked him up off the ground by his leg after the play was over.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Get a little chippy here.
Yeah, we look where Texas can improve. Special teams can improve. They have not been great in punt team this year, Rod.
You haven't made a momentum snatching play on special teams yet.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right. Not yet. In 3 years. Yeah, in your 4th game, you haven't made one yet. So I imagine that's what the punt block is about. They got all these dynamic returners, Golden and Bowden, and you haven't had that. I think Bowden had a couple of nice returns as a punt returner, but you still haven't had that big breakout moment on special teams just yet.
Hey, Rod, were you surprised at the play calling in the first half with Arch?
Oh, deep shot?
I think the ULM safeties are slow and can't turn and run. I think he saw it on tape. But, boy, he was pretty aggressive with Arch in the first half, too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I had been saying all week that they're going to actually have more verticality in the offense with him. Now, I did not see him taking 8 deep shots. I'm going to say I call that. But I did say all the metrics, average depth of target, you go look at air yards that they had last week, the frequency of deep shots. All the metrics said that they're going to throw more deep shots and they're going to have more vertical shots and more verticality in the passing game with Arch. So I believe the metrics, and I said that's one of the things I was looking for. Turns out, yeah, they went deep a lot. I think a lot of it is. I think it's Arch. I think Arch likes going deep. I think Arch, because I remember Sark saying at one point about Quinn. He says, "Yeah, just because I have a deep component in the play doesn't mean Quinn's got to throw it." And to me, that was him kind of saying like, "Oh, sometimes Quinn he's looking for that deep shot. He thinks that's gonna be the one that is open, and he kind of determines it pre-snap rather than going naturally through the progressions." I think that Arch goes through his progressions naturally, probably a little bit better than Quinn as a young quarterback, and he wants that deep shot. And he gets to it quick. He's like, no, I want that deep shot. I'm getting to it. And he has a naturally, and they said it on the broadcast, and Sark believed it, a better deep ball naturally than Quinn. So I think they're using that, and he likes chunking it deep, man, and I like it. I love that verticality they're bringing back in the offense. So 8 deep shots in one half. I don't know the last time Texas had that many deep shots in a half. We got to go back and look.
At Oak State.
Oaks, yeah, that's a great point. And that one, That one was so nonsensical, Jerry, because you had a quarterback with a hurt hand, Xavier Worthy with a broke hand, and the wind was swirling on the road. Yep. That's how we know Sark was a madman. That was more, to me, I always say that there's a difference between, Steven and Sark, and that was Steven. That was not Sark. That was Sark we love. Steven is some other guy. That's what we saw at Oklahoma State that time. But I like it. Sark has always said he wants the deep ball to be back in the offense. He curtailed it, I think, because they weren't good at it. But with Arch, that thing may come back.
Yeah. Well, and I said at halftime, Rod, before you jumped on, it reminds me of Quinn as a freshman that sometimes defaults to maybe the deep ball when it's there. But because Quinn did that a lot, and I was at that Oklahoma State game. The wind was more than swirling. The wind was howling. The wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour. It was crazy. My hat was blowing off in the bowl there at Stillwater. Well, by the way, Oklahoma State lost today. This could be a real bad, sad day for the state of Oklahoma because the Sooners are getting crushed, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys lost to Utah at home without Cam Rising playing for the Utah Utes there. 35-3 Texas. They've come out intentionally trying to run the football here in this second half without a doubt. And little fumbled snap there. Arch got up and tried to make a throw. He got clobbered on that one, but Daniel had a completion to Isaiah Bond on that one. Isaiah Bond is the leading receiver for the Longhorns with 75 yards on 2 catches. Had that big explosive, one of those 8 deep shots Rod talked about, 56 yards. Would have had another big one if not for the overrule of that incredible catch by Silas Bolden. Here's a big third down for Arch. They were 5 for 6 in the first half. And he just missed Jaden Blue that time. And they're going to have to punt here on 3rd and 5 from about midfield. So another one where we saw his feet get a little happy, guys, and a little wide on the – maybe he thought Jaden was going to cut up and hit him in stride. Instead, it went out in front of him, and there was a missed pass. Yeah.
The pocket presence, it use a little work, right? I mean, his presence in the pocket, he doesn't seem as cool, calm, and collected as Quinn. And the ball doesn't come out as quick in the offense because he's not as comfortable within the kind of working in the rhythm of Sark's offense as well. And that'll come too. But I think he actually likes to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. And like we said, get deeper into the progressions that may get him in trouble sometimes, like you said, because he defaults to the deep ball. But guys, these are all just growing pains. These are growing pains. I mean, I told you that you're not going to see 5 touchdowns in 29 plays. Okay, it's just that's not reality.
That never happened.
No, it was awesome to see and experience, and it was, trust me, we were all living a fever dream. It was like, is this really happening? To 2 touchdowns in his first 3 plays? This is amazing. Yes, it is, but there have to be growing pains. Lessons learned, development, evolution as a player. He needs these moments, guys. These are going to help him learn the game a little bit better. It's going to help him, be more comfortable within this offense because he's going to understand what he can and cannot do within the structure of it. It's fine. Like, don't freak out about it. It's fine.
Yeah, this is the chat tonight is going to be. This is what you're going to face. The Arch is going to face his entire career. It's the media hype, and I'm talking national media, and then the haters will come out in any bad game. He's going to face this in his entire career. One person in this chat's all about it, but he's going to face it his entire career, man. That's what it's going to be for him, and it's the way it's been for him. It's the way it's going to be.
Good message there. His struggles are a blessing in disguise. He will learn and get better.
People are always going to build him up and tear him down just as quick. And there's some people that are going to only want to tear him down, and some in the national media are only going to want to build him up. He's just going to have to remain even keel and keep learning.
Exactly.
That's well. And again, we saw Quinn was the number 1 recruit in the country, guys. I mean, Quinn was the number 1 player, and we watched him go through the same struggles. And it's
did he throw his first pick versus ULM too? It was like on his first.
He did. Jerry pointed that out.
First series.
Yeah. It's all right, man.
Hey guys, not to beat the horse in Oklahoma, but it's about to be the 4th quarter. Oklahoma has 8 first downs, 93 yards total, and 2.2 yards per play.
Wow. Damn. That's got to be one of the all-time lows there at Oklahoma. I haven't checked the record books, but I guarantee somebody's going to do the research. That's dreadful. That's pitiful.
It's pitiful. It's hard to watch. It really is. I mean, we were nitpicking Texas for things, rightfully, because they want to play to a standard, but this Oklahoma team is rough, man. They're really, really bad. Their offensive line's getting destroyed by the Tennessee Volunteers tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, the offensive line has been look, Jackson Arnold I'm not high on him, never have been, but their offensive line, the injuries and how bad they've been all season, it was going to show up tonight. Oklahoma's defense, Rod, they lost 2 players likely for the year tonight, and they've still played really well defensively. Texas offensive line is going to have to pass pro a lot better against Oklahoma than they've shown tonight. I will say
they are. You're right about that.
I agree. I love their back. I mean, their back seven, and I didn't even know about the injuries. Their back seven is one of the best in the country.
They lost Dolby for the year with a broken 15 with a broken leg, and Jaden Jackson, the freshman D line. I think he got carted off in this game as well.
Wow.
He did. That was in the first half. And their running game guys, we talked about them in the preseason. You and I, Jerry, at the SEC Media Days. They don't really have a running back, and their offensive line's bad. They have. I'm looking at the stats here against Tennessee tonight. Now, Tennessee came in as the number 2 defense in the country, and now the young quarterback just took a sack. They have handed the ball off 22 times and have 25 yards rushing.
Yeah.
It is every time a running back gets the ball, he's getting tackled as he gets the ball. It's a jailbreak. It is really, really bad. And Josh Heupel, wants this one bad.
Yeah, he does. It's personal.
It's personal for him.
It should be, and it should be for him. Yeah,
it should be. It's personal.
Hey, look, in Oklahoma too. Here's the other thing about why they're in a mess offensively. Lost all 5 offensive line starters. Jackson Arnold's not a playmaker at the quarterback position. They used to have big time backs they could just hand the ball to and they'd make something out of nothing. They don't have that guy either. And then they've had wide receiver injuries. They already lost Farouk probably for the year. Nick Anderson's trying to play tonight. I'm not watching the game, obviously. I think Andrew L. Anthony was available tonight, but they have injuries at wideout. They have injuries and aren't good up front. Starting quarterback's not a playmaker, and they don't have somebody that can just hand it off to at running back and go make a play for us. That's the sign of a bad offense.
Yeah, they need to rebuild it. And I honestly, they may need to start with play caller, QB, O-line, and thank God for the transfer portal so you can do it quickly. But they got a lot of deficiencies on that offensive side of the ball.
Well, Jeff Levy's at Mississippi State now, who the Longhorns play this week, and he had a very specific type of offense that they're kind of adjusting, and two new coordinators, offense and defense at OU. The line was only 6, and which I jumped all over. It's crazy for Tennessee, but the idea that because they just can't move the ball. I mean, they can't, and they were 108th in total offense. Oklahoma was coming in against bad teams. I watched most of the Houston game, and Houston's not a good team, and Houston almost beat them. Houston got beat today big time. Who beat Houston today? It was not pretty. I mean, they got crushed.
Oh, Cincinnati
crushed them.
Yeah.
And Houston with Willie Fritz almost beat OU in OU. So to be 108th against the 3 teams they had played, it looked like a sexy matchup at number 9 against number 15, 3-0. But if you look deeper, man, that OU team is in trouble. And and their schedule is brutal. Their schedule is brutal.
Look, and here's the crazy thing about OU. Next week's a must-win game, and they're on the road in the SEC at Auburn. I don't care what people think of Auburn. You're reeling after the Tennessee game. You're injured, and now you got to go on the road and play in a tough place. Another team that needs a win. I mean, that's a must-win game for Oklahoma next week. Must win.
Yeah, and they play Texas the following or after the bye week, and then it's bad. We win by 50, have stuff to work on. It's a perfect situation in my opinion. Coaches have stuff to coach, and players have things to learn, and we win by 50. Yeah, good old days. Thank you, JJ, for the super chat. And Rod's been saying that. Jerry's been saying that. It's a good thing. And another deep ball. There's another deep one, Rod. That's 9. Oh, Ryan Wingo. Did he get interfered with? No, on 2nd and 7. But that post route is a popular route tonight. that 7 route or the 9 is go deep.
They obviously want to test the safeties. They think the safeties are a weakness.
Yes, and they are,
too, Jerry, right? Yeah,
they are. I mean, you can tell on these bombs that have been completed, even some that aren't. ULM safeties are good against the run, but their turn and chase ability is not high end at all.
And
if Arch would have thrown that to the other shoulder, it'd have been a touchdown.
Yep. And the DB got there a little early, but yeah.
And there's a 3rd down stop. They ran the ball with Jaden Blue. His 23rd carry of the night goes for nothing. He's over 100 yards, but still they'll punt here up 35-3. Yeah, that's another one that Arch would want back. I mean, if if he leads him because he was breaking away from the safety and the corner, if he leads him to his left shoulder, instead he threw it over his right shoulder and had to turn back, which turned him back into the coverage.
Yep. Little things. He's going to get better at those little things, those little details.
Yep. And that would have been another one for Ryan Wingo, man. That's one of the rare times they targeted him where he hasn't had an explosive play.
No, that's the only target he's had, guys, where he hasn't caught.
You're right about that.
That's his first target that wasn't a completion of the season.
Well, there was one in the first half that they called pass interference.
It was a pass interference, so it technically don't count. Yeah,
that don't count.
If you do want to count it, actually, I get as a statistician or someone who's in a data scientist, to me, that's a win for the offense.
Yeah, 100%, 15 yards. 15 yards.
Exactly. But still, technically, that's an explosive play, 15 yards.
Hey, there's Matt Haley in the.
Oop, you kind of froze up there, G.
It's not popping. Okay. Need to let other running backs get some experience and keep Blue healthy. The problem is no other scholarship runner. Jarrett Gibson is dinged ankle again. Trey Wisner obviously can't go tonight. He had a wrapped left hamstring in warm-up. And then Velton Gardner's the only other guy left.
Let's put him out there. Let's put Gardner out there. This is Gardner time. 32 points in Gardner time.
Hey, the one phrase I never thought I would hear tonight is Rod Bear would say, "It's Gardner time."
It's Gardner time. Man, what are we doing?
Give me some Gardner. Give me some Gardner time.
Yeah, he's got his 100-yard game. NFL scouts have gotten this chance to see what he's going to do. He's been missed on like 3 wheel routes tonight. Put him on the bench, and it's Gardner time. Damn it! What are we doing here? Colin Page, put him out there. Let's go. What are we doing? That's crazy.
All right, there's a shot of Quinn Ewers on the sidelines in his jersey, but street clothes. And
what about Ryan Niblett? You put Niblett out there? Is Niblett playing running back too?
He is, yeah, with your old number, looking good out there, running with some speed. Hey, Rod, what's your take on Coach Shipley and I talked about it with Jerry earlier. They're going to want to win this game. The score is all that matters. The gamblers are the only ones concerned right now with that 45-point line, and it's 35-3. What's your thought on Quinn? I mean, how careful are you next week knowing that Mississippi State lost again today? They're 1-3. Their quarterback, Blake Shapen, got hurt in the game too. I mean, Coach Shipley and I agreed, and Jerry, I think does too, that you be over cautious with your quarterback right now and don't re-aggravate that injury. What's your thought on Quinn for the upcoming week practice and the game?
I agree with y'all, and I said it last week. I said he needs to strongly consider keeping out from Mississippi State. Some people would say that's cocky, that's arrogant, start of SEC play. Not if you're thinking about the long term, you're thinking about winning a championship. Texas is good enough to beat Mississippi State. Even, like I said, last week I was thinking this, even after seeing Arch have his growing pains in this game and after watching Mississippi State for another week, I feel even more confident that Texas can beat Mississippi State without Quinn Ewers. It may be ugly. It may not be the prettiest of games, but you can get that win and give Quinn Ewers the longest amount of time that he'll have all season to recover from an injury. Because after this stretch, you won't have another stretch where you can have the luxury of saying, we can win that game without Quinn. We're good. I don't know if you'll have that stretch. So I think Arch is awesome, but I'm with you guys. I think you keep him out. I think you keep Quinn out for one more week versus Mississippi State. One more week. Yep. And then give him the bye week too. And by then he'll be – now, I don't know if he'll ever be fully recovered from those things. I don't know what the severity of it is, so I don't know. But you'll give him the best and the longest time possible to recover from it. And that should give you as a coach, you're like, hey, I did everything I could. If he re-injures it or something, you're like, yeah, I did everything I could. But if you put him out there a little bit early and then he re-injures it, you're going to be like, damn, I wonder if I should have given him another week. Yeah, you probably should have.
Yeah, and that's the thing I keep saying, guys, is it's not just in the game, it's in practice. I mean, he can re-injure in practice. You got to go full reps, and that's just a muscle injury. By the way, the special teams for Texas may have just made one of those swing plays where they Michael Kern with a great punt, and now they've got Louisiana Monroe on the goal line after 2 penalties. They're looking to score points right here, guys, from the defensive side. And was set up. There it is. That's going to be a safety. That's going to be a safety for the Longhorn defense.
That was Leonga LaFowl, 2 plays in a row, guys, from that middle backer position.
He shot the gap like a missile on that play. That was big time.
He's killing it.
He is really good hash mark to hash mark. I'm not sure coverage-wise once the play, he has to turn and run wide, LaFowl, But in between the hashes, he is a very good football player. So instinctive.
Yeah, he got up in that hole and
Yeah,
exactly what you want a middle linebacker. Face mask on face mask and driving back. Good stuff right there from the linebacker out of Hawaii, bringing it right there. Big time, big time. Longhorns have 2 more points. It's 37-33, and the Longhorns are going to get the ball back, so Arch Manning will have it again. And we'll see if it's Gardner time, Rod. Let me mention here in the third quarter, it's brought to you by my buddy Anthony Hippolito. He is I don't live in Hayes County, so I can't vote for Anthony, but I'm telling everybody I can to because I used to live in Hayes County for a long, long time. But anybody that lives in Hayes County, vote for Anthony Hippolito for sheriff. If you have friends, family that live in that fast-growing county, it's one of the fastest-growing in the state, really in the country. You want someone like Anthony at the helm of the sheriff's department. He wants to really crack down on the fentanyl crisis, which is hurting our young people in a big way in that Hayes County area. Also, the high schools and school safety is a major issue. Anthony was 25 years APD, retired, now doing great work with the Hayes County Sheriff's Department. He's got the strong endorsement of the current sitting sheriff, Gary Cutler, and he should be your vote as you're voting for the bigger up the ticket people. Make sure when you get to Anthony Hippolito in Hayes County, you're voting for Anthony, and we appreciate him. Plus, he's an avid on Texas football watcher. Now 60,000 viewers, guys. 60,000 subscribers, not viewers, but subscribers as of tonight. That's big time. Good job, guys.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you guys, man.
Lance Miles asked if I like LaFowl coverage out of high school. I like LaFowl coverage out of high school for sure. My only thing, and I think he's really good in the middle of field and coverage. My thought, what I just said on him was if a play is to the outside and he has to turn and run from the middle backer position, he may lack half a step of speed there on those plays. But he is really instinctive football player in coverage over the middle of the field or just playing downhill like we saw. It may just be speed thing on something if you ask him to go make a play outside the numbers.
Yep.
Hey, Rod, don't you think Sark wants to see one more real good drive here from his first team offense, right? I mean,
yes, agreed.
Game's in hand. It's 37-3, but I'm assuming knowing Sark and his competitiveness, he wants to see one more real good drive from this offense after what happened on the last drive.
Well, and you want Arch to sit down on a good note too, right? You want him to sit down with his last memory of, oh, no, that was a really good drive, a scoring drive. We were efficient on that drive. I was efficient. I made the right decisions. So this is I'm with you. I think that's what Sark wants here. And if he gets it, and even if he doesn't get it, I think, oh, that's a nice throw by Arch right there. Even if he doesn't get it, I think Arch is going to sit down after this. But because it's the beginning of the fourth quarter, probably, or right at the beginning of it. But either way, go.
There's Jonte Cook on a slant route. He had to pump fake it because he had pressure. Woodward got knocked down, and he still made the good throw. And Jonte Cook makes his first catch of the night. I'm with you. Let's go. It's 2:22 to go in the quarter. Let's put another touchdown on the board, and then Trey Owens time in the fourth quarter. But you really want to challenge this offensive unit to put one more good one together.
Throw it behind him a little bit there. A little bit behind Wingo. So now second target for Wingo that he hadn't caught.
Dang it, Wingo. Come on, man.
Expectations are too high for Wingo. Like, come on, Wingo. Come down with them.
All right, you can see Sark's in his bag now. He's looking for a play here on second down. Jaden Blue is your leading rusher, 23 carries, 116 yards. They've also targeted him in the pass game quite a bit. But it's Jarrett Gibson in the game right now. He tweaked his ankle a little bit early, but he's back in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to
a little counter with Davis pulling from the tight end spot, Rod.
Yeah. No, they love him as a blocker, man.
Yeah.
They do. They love him as a blocker. In the run game and in the pass game, I think it's good. In the pass game, I think they had a nice little play to him earlier in the game. Might have been his only target, if I can remember right.
How about Sark saying this week about Jarrett Gibson, Jerry, that they'd like him to shy away from some contact, like make somebody miss. Stop trying to run into people. He's got that. That bull mentality. He wants to hit people and kind of like Joe Mixon with the Texans and like implement some punishment. We might want you to like make a guy miss every now and again.
They just ran the ball on 3rd and 7, which
I like it. I like that. You don't like it if you're UL Monroe, but you do like it if you're Texas. There's a good play call. But the thing with Jarrett Gibson is that baby rhino. Put your head down when you see that contact running through that would-be tackler, Rod. But what's the next piece of that? You got to keep your eyes up to see where the second guy's coming from if you break the tackle. Young running backs sometimes, They dropped their eyes on that first contact. That's what Sark was getting at with Gibson, I truly believe.
Yeah, but running on the ball, that I think Rod that tells me if they run the ball on third down, they were going for it on fourth down.
Yeah,
that was 2 downs, and I like the call, just knowing that they want to get a touchdown on this drive. They want to get Arch out of this game. They want to get some of these starters out of the game, already up by 36 or 34 points. Go ahead and see if you can put something in the end zone here.
Silas Bowden.
Boy, good hands, He got great hands, Rod.
He does. I'm telling you, he's great at contested catches and wild catches. I mean, he really is. Oh.
Yeah, he reached out and snatched that was a hot fastball from Arch right there.
Oh, he's still out there. I don't know why he's still out there. It's Gardner time, damn it. I don't know. Maybe they want to get blue. Maybe they want to guarantee a touchdown here.
Jaden's showing out here. Jaden's getting his game. He's going to be the SEC Offensive Player of the Week maybe after this. If he ends up with 4 touchdowns.
I mean, that's wild. And how many targets does he have today? Do we see how many targets Jaden Blue has?
I think he has like 5 or 6 in the passing game too.
He easily, because I remember 3 of them like on missed wheel routes.
Yeah, Blue's got 7 targets.
7 targets. Wow.
Hey, by the way, I know it's Georgia Southern. Ole Miss is looking really good this year, guys.
Wow.
I mean, Georgia Southern has 123 yards in this game, and Ole Miss up 45-10. They just continue to roll over anybody. Wake Forest got one last week, 40-6 on the road. Ole Miss went on the road and smoked them. Ole Miss is playing really good on both sides of the ball. They're not going to be tested for, 2 or 3 more weeks either.
Yeah, you're right about that. I like that team. I like Ole Miss.
7
targets and one connection with Jaden Blue, or he did be having the game for the ages here.
Yeah, they've been trying to hit him on that wheel route. I'm telling you, they've tried that wheel. Tried it in the red zone. They tried it in between the 20s twice. They just haven't been able to connect on it. So I know at least close to half of those targets on that wheel route they've been trying to hit.
Well, look, I mean, Arch is 15 of 29, so he's just barely over 50%. Most of that's the throws to Jaden Blue that he hasn't connected on.
You're right, though. That's weird. And
Jaden has a couple of drops. He's missed him on a wheel route for a touchdown.
Yeah. So a couple of drops on Blue. You're right about that, Jerry. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So that's been the one combination that hadn't clicked, and that's that'll work. They'll work on that. And Ryan Wingo's had his first 2 non-explosive opportunities in the game. By the way, Oklahoma's threatening in the end zone for the first time. This kid 9 has come in, and the quarterback that you talked about, Jerry, actually he's in. They're going to give him a touchdown now. It's going to be 22-10. They may go for 2 here to get it to 11. Michael Hawkins with a 12-yard run. He's brought some juice, exactly as you said, Jerry. They have I think that's I'm going to say that I think that's going to be their quarterback when Texas plays.
Yeah.
Because Jackson Arnold got the opportunity for 3 games coming into this and the first half and was miserable. I think 9's going to be the quarterback when Texas plays in the Cotton Bowl in about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt about it. I think he's going to be their guy. He looked really good in the spring game. I know a lot of people didn't watch it probably, but Michael Hawkins looked really good in the spring game. He just looked like he belonged. He looked like a playmaker. And I'm here to tell you, love him or hate him, Kevin Murray, Kyler's dad, is a tremendous quarterback developer. I've watched it up close many times covering kids he's worked with, and he does a great job from the mental part with these kids at the high school level. These kids, he is tough on them. He does a great job on the board with them. He does a great job with mechanics, with feet and arm. And just Kevin Murray's really good. And when he trains somebody for a 6 or 7 year period of time, obviously like he did with his son for much longer, who's a freak athlete, but Michael Hawkins, who's already a playmaker naturally, this is kind of what you get. Oklahoma has their quarterback. It's just not the guy they thought it was.
Well, and I know my buddy Mike Craven wrote a story for Dave Campbell's Texas Football this week about the A&M situation, that sometimes your best quarterback is not the right quarterback for your offense, that your most talented guy. But right now at A&M and at Oklahoma, Rod, if your offensive line doesn't block anybody, you just got to have a playmaker. You got to have somebody that can move and move the pocket and create something, because Jackson Arnold is a sitting duck back there when they can't run the football. This guy 9's come in and he's making some things happen with his feet. You almost have to, again, maybe not the best quarterback or most talented, but the right quarterback for the time.
Yeah, the quarterback that can help you solve the most problems, right? You got the most
Yeah.
issues and
Yeah.
deficiencies. Using a quarterback that can help you solve problems.
Well, and that was about like at A&M, where it's Connor Wiegman, who's maybe an NFL prospect, but the kid from Nashville coming in, he gives you a chance. Now they're struggling with Bowling Green this week. There we go. They're the Longhorns plowing that thing in. Jaden Blue's got a 4-touchdown game, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, and it could have been bigger if they connect on these 7 targets. But Jaden Blue is putting himself in his name in the hat for SEC Offensive Player of the Week right now.
I mean, the workload is unbelievable. So we got 25 rushes now. So we got 30, something like with 32 opportunities to touch the football totally. That's a lot. That's a workload against ULM. I don't know if I understand that, but I'm glad he got it. I don't need to see any more of them though.
Well, and that's the first play of the fourth quarter into the books, and so they're 45-3. Trey Moore time, Velton Gardner time, guys. I mean, are we good with that? Let's just go ahead and put everybody else in bubble wrap and get ready for Mississippi State next week for the starters.
I agree. I think, I would say that should be the last we see of Arch, last we see of Jaden Blue. The starting wide receivers. Maybe you can get some of those other young guys out there for the fourth quarter with Trey Owens. So and offensive line. Maybe it's time to take Kelvin Banks out there and some other guys and see if you can give the younger group of the offensive line some reps too, because you're going to need these guys.
Yeah. I think you'll start to see the second team OL guys start to see some Velton Gardner here. It'll be interesting to see what does Sark do? Does he put in Trey Owens this series or wait another series and try to get Arch a little more work in this game? I think if he takes Arch out now, that may lead you, Rod, to wonder if Quinn's going to be ready to go next week a little bit. Arch needs reps.
He does. I agree. No, he needs them. That's no doubt about it. It's the only way he's going to continue to get better and improve, and he will. That's a good point, Jerry. I would try if I was Sark, I would lean toward keeping Quinn out another week so he can get totally healthy. Because, like you said, guys, those types of injuries, you're talking about the abdominal strain. I mean, that was for what we understand a non-contact injury. Man, I think their own kind of torque, their own upper body movement, it could trigger something to re-injure it. I'd want to make sure Arch has the most reps under his belt in case we got to make the run with him. And I'd want Quinn to be as healthy as possible because he is the guy that, we need to make the run with. But if we have to do it with Arch, I think they can do it with Arch. But in order for him to be the quarterback that can lead you to the promised land, Arch is going to need more reps. So either way, the solution to me is Arch plays versus Mississippi State. Keeps Quinn healthy, gives him more time to recover, and Arch gets the reps that he needs. But
yeah, good shot right there of Quinn Ewers. You see him firing up his team for the fourth quarter. Thought that was pretty cool. Even though he's not playing, he was leading his team and doing the Ray Lewis in the middle of the huddle pep rally there. That was pretty cool, like that for sure. But agree with you guys both on that on the decision and what you're going to do. Oklahoma did score, and now they're going to kick an extra point. It's 22-10 there in Norman, Oklahoma. Longhorns up 44. They missed the extra point. Did I miss that or no? It's 40. Yeah, there was 30. Oh, the safeties got me screwed up. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
the safeties got me screwed up. So 44-3, start of the fourth quarter here. Ethan Burke with a negative play.
He had a great game too. Ethan Burke's had a really good game actually. Underrated.
Oh, I know you missed the extra point because they had a penalty on the touchdown, and they end up. It's 22-9 Tennessee over OU. OU does have – it seems like they found a quarterback. 44-3 Texas. Our fourth quarter brought to you by the Spreadwise app. Make sure you've got that downloaded to your smartphone. It is absolutely your secret weapon for your football elimination pool. That means you pick a game a week, one winner each week. You can only use one team, each team one time. So you want to make sure you've got that advanced algorithm at your service to line up which picks you want this week, and then successive weeks really gets you feeling like, okay, where can I find some advantages here to keep alive in my elimination pool league and win that pot at the end, because it's about winning the pot. That's what it's about at the end. Spreadwise, your secret weapon for your football elimination pool in your app store. All right, Texas playing some defense. A lot of second team guys out there now. Jerry, help us out. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Javion Cole is out there, the transfer corner, playing we're number 13. A lot of backups are going to be getting some time here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, see what the flag here is. I didn't see the pass interference offense. They'll decline that. It'll be 4th and 3. But yeah, Javion Cole, you got a bunch of backup guys in the secondary. Hey, by the way, Rod, it's not going to get much mention because unless you pick off a pass or get a pass interference call, it rarely does. Malik Muhammad was awesome in coverage again tonight. Now, he wasn't tested. There wasn't Barry Brown or somebody out there that could jet down the field, but he's so sticky in coverage.
Yeah, they tested him a couple of times. He had a great play where they throw it deep on him. He got the PBU, but he's facing the wide receiver, so reading the eyes of the wide receiver and immediately turns right when the ball's there to knock the ball away. And it just shows you that he got a number of ways. And he did. It wasn't pass interference, even though a couple of years ago when Texas DBs were playing it like that, when they were playing the eyes, they would interfere with the wide receiver because they were using their hands a little bit too much or getting too handsy up top. He kept control of the wide receiver, didn't interfere, but was able to play the eyes and still break up the pass. You're right, man. He's playing right now like an all SEC cornerback. He is. He's playing at that high level. There's no.
So we're gonna have Trey Owens, second team OL, Juan Davis still going to be in the game. Looks like I'm sure that means we'll see Velton Gardner, maybe even Colin Page here. So it's going to be all the backups in on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm all for some Colin Page, man. The crew 512 needs to be getting some opportunities here. Give me some 512 love. Colin Page, Rod, that guy out of Anderson High, he'll take 10 carries here in this fourth quarter and make the most of it, I think. And you're right, Jaden Blue can shut it down. 25 carries, 124, and 3 touchdowns. Found the end zone through the air as well on the one of his 7 targets that was completed. He ended up with a touchdown from Arch Manning early in the game. Arch Manning, 15 of 29, 258, 2 scores, 2 interceptions. He can learn from that. Quarterback rating of 135.4. And as you said, Jerry, they're not going to run him. They're not going to risk him. You're one injury away to your quarterback of being down to your third guy. So yes, he can run. We know he runs, 21 miles an hour, whatever it is. But why risk it against this team? And Arch Manning barely left the pocket. They just rolled it a few times, and he's going to leave this game healthy.
I don't know what is going on, but Sadir Mitchell just went back to the locker room. I don't know if he was in that series or not.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's an injury. I don't know. Somebody just texted me, said Sadir's on his way back to the locker room.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, guys, mission accomplished. Let me see if I get this right here for the Longhorns. I mean, the quick math tells me it's 184 to 22 on the year for the Longhorns. 184 to 22 as they start their early on in the fourth quarter. That's not bad, Rod. 184 to 22, and now you get second, third, and fourth team guys in the game here in this fourth quarter. Mission accomplished, headed into their conference because this is the last of the tune-up games. It's time for conference play.
Yeah, I assumed they'd get a shutout in this game, so I was a little wrong. I was wrong there. I was off. They ended up giving up 3 points, but pretty close to being a shutout because when Texas can identify what your strength is, they're pretty good at taking it away. Even in this game, yeah, of course, they weren't as gap sound. You would like them to be better with their run fits against ULM, but, I mean, still how many rushing yards did ULM end up with? What?
Right now they have rush yards is 52.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the standard is the standard. So you're going to be a championship team, even those 5-6 runs they gave up. That's something that Texas can get coached up on. It's something they can get better at. So, I mean, this defense is it's as good as we've seen them in a long time. I mean, I haven't done the math on through 4 games, but I remember the stat from Danny Davis that through 3 games, the 19 points Texas gave up was as few as they had given up since 1983 was the number. So, yeah, 1983. That's that was an all-time great defense right there.
Good on Jared Gibson right there to get the first carry and stay in bounds. Got himself down to keep the clock running. Heady move by a freshman, and now he gets a first down. And it's all second team and third team players now for the Texas Longhorns, doing a great job at this point, 44-3 for the Longhorns. And, yeah, the standard is the standard, but 106 to 408. And, I do like, Jerry, that I think Rod and I agreed, and you were listening, that, Sark really challenged Arch and those guys to go down and get a touchdown on that last drive, knowing that was going to be it for them. Thought that's, as Rod said, go off the field. Arch feels good about that final drive, that final touchdown drive with Jaden Blue, and now they can start working towards Mississippi State.
Yeah, for sure. Jarrett Gibson, by the way, his left ankle kind of gave a little bit on that. You can tell he's got a little something going on that run. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm really interested to see what happens next week, if Quinn plays or not, because Mississippi State's a bad football team. They're not good on the offensive line, and they're just not a good football team this year. And Blake Shapen's out for the year. I don't know if you heard that, Rob, but they announced that he's out for the year.
That.
So I'd be interested to see if Arch plays next week, how much he improves. Because obviously his first start, I didn't think he was real good tonight, honestly. And I think Sark wants to throw it down the field with him more. But I didn't think Arch looked real good tonight. Yeah, I'd be interested if he starts next week, how much he improves from start 1 to start 2. That's normally a pretty big jump for a kid. We'll see if he gets start 2 this season.
That's a good point. No, I bet Arch, his standard, he probably believes he didn't play that well either. But I expected the growing pains, as your boy Colin Page showing out there, Aaron. But no, I expected the growing pains, and I said even earlier this week on my show, I said Longhorn fans need to temper expectations because you're not gonna get 5 touchdowns in 29 plays. It's just that's not gonna happen. They'll have. And by the way, ULM's defense made a few plays. Their defense, they've made a couple of plays out there. So it's just, like I said, it's just opportunities for him to learn and grow. And you need those right now. And thank God we're coming in the ULM game.
You have to have them.
You have to have them, guys. Yeah. Trust me, the Manning family is watching it right now going, this is perfect. They're already getting their group text together about the little notes they're going to give him on the plays and what he needs to improve on. I think we'll see exponential improvement from first start to second start.
Are you surprised that Sark didn't play him on the move and move the pocket more tonight with him? He only did really a couple times.
Yeah, I am a little bit more surprised we didn't see it more. Maybe he just doesn't want to put him in harm's way. Maybe he
put him in a run. Running in his head.
Yes, if he puts him on the move, that Arch will decide, hey, you know what? Green grass, I'm taking it. And it's like, no, I don't want you taking green grass. I want you either sit in the pocket or, take care of yourself and stay out of harm's way. Because right now, you're our starting quarterback. So I think it could be a little bit of both, that he just didn't do it because he doesn't want to encourage him to be running too much.
Agreed.
Matt Haley asked a question here real quick. Sorry. Where is it? Matt, how much does Michigan winning help Texas' appearance nationally? It helps, but to me, it's more how you play now, Rod. I mean, it helps the more games Michigan wins, but Texas performance, not next week. Mississippi State's bad. Then they have an off week. Hopefully, they can get their running backs healthy. But the next 2 weeks are what's going to help Texas the most this season.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right, here we go. Loving that number 21, Rod Babers. Loving that number 21. I think we're going to really like it here. Showing some speed. Coach Shipley was asking, do you think who would win a foot race, Ryan Niblett or Rod Babers? Wow. Look at that. Get the pylon. Get that pylon.
Hey, man. Back in my prime, I'm going to say me. Right now, ain't no doubt it's him.
You better take yourself.
Yeah. In my prime, it's no doubt it's Rod B. But there you go. That's what I wanted to see. Niblett.
Hey, that was a big touchdown for the bettors.
It really
was. That was. Gamblers are happy. Yep. Gamblers are happy. Got that pylon. That's a 50 burger for the Longhorns, and they're going to kick an extra point to go 51. Offense has scored 49. The defense scored 2 on a safety. And, it'll go unnoticed, guys, but that special teams play was big to back up the punt and set up the special teams opportunity or the safety. That's something they can build on, too, because actually tonight Michael Kern actually got some work. The punt team actually got work in this game tonight, and the defense has allowed 106 total yards and scored 2 points. It's 50-3. Longhorns looking like the number 1 team in the country without a doubt. And that's fun, guys, to go out and 8:24 to go, but all second teamers going down and getting that cover touchdown for the Gamblers out there. But mission accomplished. It's now, what did I just say? 184. Now they're kicking extra point to be 7 more. You're into the 190 point margin in 4 games, and you've allowed 22. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah, and I love that. there's not a lot of drop off, right? You're starting to see Texas, even when they rotate guys in, and even when they have to play guys that are, the backups and the guys who are second and third string, they're still able to go down, execute the offense, still able to, play at a really high level and still meet the standard. And that's the difference this year. That's why you're getting the blowout wins, because Texas has a ton of depth. And when the second team guys get in there, they're performing at a really high level. That's that talented depth you've been trying to build for years. And they got it right now. There's no question. There's no doubt.
Yes.
100%. Yeah. Mike Gosdell has a super chat. What areas will Mississippi State challenge Texas? Their run defense is line big plays. I think their offensive line was terrible today against Florida. That call was reversed, by the way. He didn't get in. So 2nd and goal from the 1.
Oh, man, give 21 the touchdown. Give my man the – why do they keep reversing these calls?
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it was his hand. It was his hand, not the ball. The ball never touched the pylon. Yeah, the hand touched the pylon, not the ball.
You got it.
The ball hit, it was out of bounds.
Mississippi State's got a lot of issues. They're not good up front. They're not good up front on the offensive line. They don't have the dominant front 7 defensive players like they have in some years past. Now they're going to a backup quarterback, new system, 2 starters returning. I mean, they've just got blown out by Toledo, and Florida's not real good, and Florida got on them today. Texas, if Texas turns the ball over a lot and doesn't show up, maybe it's a game. But Mississippi State, I'm not sure Mississippi State's as good on defense as UL Monroe, guys.
I agree with that. I watched them today a lot in their ball game against Florida, because we were treated to the worst early slate of games I can ever remember at 11 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, it was pretty rough. I mean, Mississippi State they're not good at much at all. And now their quarterback's hurt. Blake Shapen was maybe their one, 23-year-old quarterback who runs Jeff Levy's system, but they're not very good at all.
Pass defense isn't good. I was Florida 26 of 28 today through the air as well, something crazy like that.
Yeah, Florida hadn't moved the ball on anybody this year, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're rough. I mean, they played Arizona State and gave up 300 rushing yards and a loss. They lost Toledo. Like, the Rockets came in there and beat them by 30 points. So and I think we were all in agreement that you go ahead and protect Arch Manning. You said it, Rod. And it's one of those things. If you're a coach, if he comes back too fast, because people are going to, call our radio shows and go, jump onto the on Texas football channel, talk about Heisman trophies and things like that. It doesn't matter. You gotta protect this quarterback. If you can still win the Heisman Trophy if you miss 2 games, that's fine. They're gonna have huge opportunities for Quinn. And what you don't want, Rod, is what you said, that you bring him back too soon, it re-injures or re-aggravates, and now you're dealing with it into the biggest stretch of your season that's going to define your regular season. That what's the point if you feel like, as you've seen tonight, you can go out with Arch Manning and be just fine and handle your business and get ready for an off week, and then the biggest 2-game stretch of 2024.
Yep. And in addition to that, giving Quinn the time he needs to make sure he makes as much of a full recovery as possible. We don't know if he can be fully recovered, but you'll give him as much time as you possibly could. Then Arch needs the reps, because knock on wood, if something happens again to Quinn, he's going to need the reps. And I think ultimately you're going to need both of these quarterbacks for that long run. So I would seriously consider holding Quinn out for that Mississippi State game. The Heisman, the truth is you're not going to win the Heisman if you miss that many games. Probably not. It's very rare. I don't know if it's ever really happened that you miss that many games and win the Heisman, but who cares about that? Right now, your draft stock matters more. And, you can, those big games, Oklahoma, Georgia, perform at a high level. That's all the draft stock guys want to see, just like you did versus Michigan. And I think ultimately Texas winning a championship is what matters. So the Heisman to me for Quinn should be the 3rd most important thing. I know some people, it's more important than that, but draft stock and championship means more, I think, for him. And he's got to be healthy for that.
Well, Jerry, I think Stark said, are you saying the Miss State is worse than ULM?
In a couple areas, yeah. ULM may be a little better on the defensive front right now and maybe better on the offensive line and the run blocking.
Wow.
I mean, look, Mississippi State, the reality is they got blown out at home by Toledo 41-17 and then lost by double digits to Florida. They were down 27-3 at halftime against Arizona State. Mississippi State's a bad football team.
Well, you're right about that. And let's remember the late great Mike Leach passed away. They had an interim coach essentially, and then, went 1 year that way, trying to keep it together, and missed a recruiting cycle and a portal cycle and that, and then brought in Jeff Levy, who's got his own system that's similar to Mike Leach, but not the same.
Right.
They have a talent gap on the defensive side of the ball, and now the quarterback's hurt. I mean, throw that in. Texas has a hurt quarterback, but Arch Manning's Arch Manning. That's not a very good football team. Having seen them up close a few times, again. It's not taking anybody lightly. No one's taking anybody lightly, Rod. It's a standard is a standard, but you can beat that team with Arch Manning, and you're not risking your starting quarterback, who gives you the highest ceiling for your entire season. Sark talked about it on a Zoom call on Thursday that I sat with Quinn. We talked about it. He feels good. Our goals are to win the SEC. Get in the playoff, win the national championship. You said it, top 5 draft pick. All those things are still in front of them. The one thing that can derail that is an injury, and by not playing him, you make sure that doesn't re-aggravate the oblique strain.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I would lean. But no, I mean, it still could end up where he just, I thought they think about keeping Jaden Blue out of this game, and he ends up with 32 opportunities in a 100-yard game. So, you never know what how the players are going to feel and what the training staff determines. But just right now, if there's any concern about it not being 100% and him not being close to that, I would keep him out of that Mississippi State game, because I think you're good enough, because you can win in complementary ways. Texas can beat Mississippi State in like 50 different ways. Like it can be, but with their defense, they can do it on special teams. They can do it by running the football. They can do it with Arch having a great game to the pass. It can be a balanced offense. They can force a lot of turnovers. Like, they could beat Mississippi State a number of ways. And I think they could do that without Quinn. So that's why I would lean.
Yeah. And again, having had that injury before, and you've had those kind of injuries, Rod, the muscular things, whether it's calf or a hamstring, it doesn't take, it takes one jerk and, torque, and it's back, and maybe worse. It's just not worth messing with, in my opinion. But again, you said it. Medical staff will make their decision, and they will not risk Quinn. I believe that fully. Jerry, you were going to say, I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm not. Oh, a lot of third-team guys. There's Colton Vosick chasing the quarterback. Ty Anthony Smith, freshman linebacker, in. You got Tia Savea in at D-line. Jordan Johnson-Rebel, Kobe Black. I see Maurice Blackwell. It's like an I Spy out here. Guys says Javion Cole, maybe Wardell Mack. So a lot of the young kids getting in right now for the Texas defense. And some of the experienced guys, third-team guys like Savea.
Yep. And that's good. This is, again, to be number one in the country, going to be 4-0, cover the spread at this point for the gamblers out there who are going to be happy. You're also getting valuable reps. I mean, it's safe to say, Rod, ahead of conference play. However, this week plays out, the Mississippi State decision. This has gone as good as it could, as far as outside of the running back injuries, obviously, and the issues they're dealing with there. This 4-game stretch to get ready for the SEC, for the first SEC action, has gone about as good as it can for this Texas Longhorn program.
I agree. And the crazy part is, the scary part is, us who are watching it, every game and keeping up with it day by day, realize that they're actually so far from their ceiling as a team, right? That's they're just starting to get guys like Silas Bolden involved with the offense. When the running back room really starts to get a little bit healthier, and you get guys like Jared Gibson, real reps. The offensive line has not yet played at a dominant level yet. They still have, in my opinion, a long ways to go, and they're going to get a lot better there. And defensively, man, we just don't really know what the ceiling is for the defense. Every time they've been challenged, they've risen to the occasion. How good can this defense be? Are we talking about an elite defense? We're talking about a defense going to be top 10 in the country in most, crucial or critical statistical categories. That could be a game changer if we're talking about a defense that could be that good. And as I pointed out, special teams has yet to make a momentum snatching play. Yes, this team is really good, number one team in the country. I actually think they got a ceiling that is much, much higher, because I don't think they've come close to reaching it yet.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rod. I mean, there's going to be their third of their 4 games without allowing a touchdown. as it stands now. The Michigan touchdown was a garbage time touchdown. We know that when the game was well decided. That they did give up in that fourth quarter. And again, it's 22 points allowed in 4 games, 111 total yards tonight against a team that had an extra week to get ready for your to get ready for it, have fresh legs and throw in some extra things that didn't help them gain more than 111 yards and 3 points so far. I agree with him, Jerry. Your thoughts on the ceiling of this team through 4 games, knowing that, they're number one already, but man, gosh, they've been really good in all phases so far.
Yeah, so I thought offensive line, if they play like they did against Michigan, extremely high ceiling. Tonight, okay. Defense, what I love about the defense is the communication, the connectivity, everything tied together defensively. I mean, UL Monroe, not a good offensive team. We talked about all week. They had 286 yards against UAB. They have 111 tonight with a week off to prepare, by the way. But Texas defense, great communication, great connectivity. I think that's where they've improved most as a defense. Great thing but the one thing we're not going to know about the Texas defense, unless Michael Hawkins dramatically changes OU, and I think Oklahoma is actually showing well against Tennessee tonight, is they don't play Ole Miss, Tennessee, Kalen DeBoer. They don't play the other really good offenses in the SEC. So how good is Texas defensively? I think they're really good. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to know how good because you don't face those teams that can throw it and run it. So I think Texas is ceiling. They're a playoff team. In my opinion, they can be a playoff team, obviously. And then you just get into the matchups of the game, Rod. I mean, like if you hadn't played a good offensive team all season, and then you get into a game against Ole Miss, that can shock your system.
Mm-hmm.
Because Michigan's not a good offensive team. Colorado State not. UTSA not. ULM obviously not. They haven't played a good offensive team this year that can challenge them, truly. Oklahoma with Hawkins may have a little playmaking at quarterback, but their offensive line's bad. Georgia, struggling. Kick Hawkins off the team. Tate Ratledge, best offensive lineman, All-American outfit here. What are they going to – I think their running backs are damn good now, Etienne and Frazier, but are they going to tie it all together? So defensively, you can get in one of those games and you haven't played an Ole Miss, and it could be like, whoa, we hadn't seen this before. It could take you a while to get adjusted to it. But obviously, Texas is they're about as good as anybody. But we'll see what happens. It's when it comes time for those games.
Good point.
It's a great point. It's a great point, Jerry. I mean, you look at the schedule. Even Georgia is not dynamic offensively, Rod. They're a sledgehammer, and they've got Carson Beck, but it's not what Ole Miss does. It's certainly not what Alabama does right now with Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams and the running backs. I mean, Georgia's going to try to slam you like a vice and just wear you out like they did to Georgia or to Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Longhorns feel like they can play in that ballpark. I think Jerry's right. The schedule, because of A&M and Oklahoma kind of being similar offensively. I mean, gosh, who is the best offense they're going to play outside of Georgia the rest of the way is a fair question.
I don't know if they play. Hey, I'm with Jerry. I mean, A&M's offense is not going to be prolific. Kentucky's
Arkansas on the road, maybe. Arkansas on the road.
Yeah, Taylor Green's a good player, and Bobby Petrino's a good coach. But
he's a good player. I don't even think he's completing 60% of his passes, though, guys.
He's not accurate.
I mean, he's a good player. He's really explosive, but of course, but I don't know how efficient he is in the passing game. So maybe they don't necessarily play one. And you're right, Jerry. That's a good point. That could be scary. That the first time you face an elite, prolific offense might be SEC title game or college football playoff.
And people are saying they play it in practice every day. True, different in the game.
Yeah,
it's guys you haven't seen before.
That's what those practices need. That's why those practices need to remain intense and play to the standard. And that's where you will be tested 100%. Good point on the message line. But you know what? I mean, in this year, if you win all your games and then were to lose to Ole Miss in a SEC title game scenario and be 12-1, you're still in the playoff. You might be a top 4 seed, and that might be good for you to get shocked a little bit by a game like that to get ready for the tournament. That's that wouldn't be the end of the world. I think most Longhorn fans would take that. You want to win the SEC championship, but to that point, as far as the most dynamic, most prolific offenses in the country, their schedule lines up to be favorable, and so far, 22 points allowed through 4 games. And right now, our man, remember that crew 512, our man Colin Page is running out this clock. He's doing some work right now. My man, 8 carries now, 56 yards, moving the pile. He's gonna get those 10 carries I talked about and more, and filling in. I like him a lot. I like what he's doing. He did go out of bounds a minute ago, which I didn't like, but 27 is showing well.
Yeah, this good.
Anderson Trojan,
hey, look, he's not the guy you want to face late in a game like this because he is running with a purpose, Rod.
That's all he knows.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine told me that there's word like he's like the strongest non-lineman on the team. Like he is a bull in the weight room.
Like it on contact.
Yeah, he is a bull. Yeah, nobody on the defense likes to tackle him.
Especially this late in the game. Like guys are worn out. It's like, no, it's 51-3. He's coming through like full head of steam.
Well, guess what? You're going to need that false start on Connor Robertson on that play there, but you're going to need that at some point. You're going to need one of those backs that can close out a game without CJ Baxter right now. That's the one. All the positives we're talking about with Texas, 190-22 so far. You're going to need a bull of a running back at some point in a game. You just know it, and it'll happen. But Quinn Ewers on the sidelines looking good in the hoodie and firing up his team. Longhorns are going to go to 4-0 and are going to move into conference play as the number 1 team in the country with Arch Manning getting valuable reps here. They're going to maybe 5-1 outgain because they like to go ahead and just keep running this clock all the way out and finish this ball game, which I'm sure that the Louisiana Monroe team would like to do too. But 2:24 to go. Colin Page taking this clock out. Hey, remember, coming up, the post-game show will be with you, and it's going to be Jerry, what's the lineup? Is it Bobby going to jump back in at the tailgate?
Bobby, Rod, Babers, and Tony Hills, I believe.
That's right.
Big T Hills. That's going to be a lot of fun. Remember, get that Spreadwise app downloaded. The games for week 3 kick off tomorrow. There's been one last Thursday, and the Cowboys, huge game tomorrow. Rod, what's your thought on that Cowboys game tomorrow? You feeling Ravens or you feeling Cowboys?
Oh man, they got to fix their run defense. If they don't, I feel like the Ravens could jump in the pistol and run downhill on the Cowboys a little bit. I know they run spread with Todd Monken, so they're more of an air raid-ish offense these days, but they got power run game DNA in them because that's what Derrick Henry is from with the Titans. Hell, Lamar Jackson won his first MVP running power sets and running downhill with a lot of success. And I feel that they may do that to the Cowboys because what the Raiders did was, what the Saints did, that was embarrassing for the Cowboys, man. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, they were getting their whole D line was getting roller skated back into their linebackers, and it was not good. They got to bring it stronger, or else Derrick Henry's going to have a field day. Remember, Derrick Henry's got a bit of a grudge. He wanted to be a Cowboy.
That's true.
He tried to. He trains, lives in Dallas in the offseason, and Jerry had no interest. Got to think he's going to try to make a point in that game. And obviously, the desperate Ravens team not wanting to be 0-3. 0-3 teams typically, with the last 130 since 2018, 130 0-3 teams, only one has made the playoffs out of all those teams. So 0-3 is a death sentence as far as the NFL goes. Mm-hmm. Oh man, Michael Hawkins just somersaulted into the end zone. I think it's not going to be enough. It's a minute to go, and they're still going to be down. But that kid's making some plays for the Sooners. He has brought life. It's safe to say Jerry Hamilton 9 will be the quarterback when Texas plays in the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma. Our fans watching can guarantee that at this point.
That's the future of their program. He's a playmaker. He's got that toughness. He's got that want to be the Sooner quarterback for his whole life. His father played there. They got a quarterback. Do they have enough to go around them this year to improve that much? But they're a different team with him than Jackson Arnold. Point 100%. Blank, they're a better offensive football team with Michael Hawkins. This is going to be a better team going to Dallas than it was 2 quarters ago.
Yeah, that'll make a highlight reel or two. He somersaulted, got upended, cartwheeled into the end zone. It's going to make it 25-16 if they make the extra point or whatever. But make it an 8-point game, look more respectable on the scoreboard. But that game's over. Well, they do have 3 timeouts, so I guess I shouldn't say that. A long way to go. But he has made some magic and brought some magic to that offense, which was dead for the first 3 quarters of the football game for the most part. And obviously Tennessee's caught off the dogs a lot on defense. They're kind of giving them.
But I'm here to tell you, Tennessee has 330 yards in this game. Oklahoma is really legitimate defensively now. against that schedule late in the year. How are they going to hold up? They had 2 major injuries tonight, but if they can get through the Auburn game with the win, they can get through the game with a win, then they have a week off before Texas, just like Texas does, and they can get a little healthier. They'll come in fresh.
Javion Cole. Nice pick.
Oh, nice. Javion Cole getting in the game pick as the Longhorns are looking to
another one. Yeah. So the Texas have all their interceptions were by different players this year. It's more by seven interceptions by 7 different players. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice play. Nice
flea flicker, yep. And they're still going for it. Nice speed, the closing speed by the San Jose State transfer guys. That's a nice looking play, Rod. Undercutting that ball.
That was a really good play by him. Oh, there's the turnover sword. It's out. Oh man! All right, gentlemen. I'm gonna get ready for the post game. I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks, E. Good job. Thanks, Jared.
Rod, great job, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, there you go. Rod Baber is always bringing it strong in the third and fourth quarter. Fourth quarter brought to you by the Spreadwise app. So another turnover for the Longhorns. They're going to ice this game and 51-3. What do we say, Jerry, about a B-plus effort here tonight? Is that what's your grade on this Texas team up as their first game since 2008 is the number 1 team in the country?
Yeah, I would say B-plus, solid defensively. I mean, look, people will point to, well, ULM ran the ball a little bit. But yeah, they had 111 yards in the game. So they did not – they won the line of scrimmage a little early but didn't late as the game moved along. Texas made plays. They had 2 sacks, multiple turnovers, right? I mean, so I give it a B-plus. Offensive line, just okay. Arch, just okay. Receivers, really good for the opportunities they had. I thought Jaden Blue had a tremendous game. Running backs, I would give an A for sure, an A to A+. Maybe just an A because of the drop passes. But Jaden Blue with his best game as a Longhorn. Running the football. Dropped a couple of balls, but running the football, he was tremendous.
Yeah, Cole Lord in the game now.
B to B+ because we're grading on the number 1 ranking scale now. It's changed.
Yeah, you're right. No, I think there's been a couple of letdowns, but I do think here's what I like. I like that Sark got to chew on them a little bit at halftime, even up big, and they came out and they executed. They went right down the field and scored a touchdown, all on the ground on that first drive after getting 3 and out. And then when Sark challenged the first team offense to have one more drive with Arch Manning, they went down and put it in the end zone, and Jaden Blue got his 4th. And now it's been a lot of the backups and the reserves in the second or in the fourth quarter here as they try to ice this game, which they are going to do. And so, yeah, I think that's about right. And a B+, it wasn't an A+. And I do think, Jerry, there's the fact that Arch Manning was 15 of 29, so just over 50%, 258, and the 2 interceptions. That's going to quiet a little bit of the if there wasn't a quarterback controversy, we know that. That's going to quiet any semblance of that, right, as far as it goes, that anybody can see now that Quinn is the highest ceiling quarterback they have. He's the quarterback to lead them. We all know that, but now that won't become the boilerplate topic this week like it might have been.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it never was. I mean, look, that's what we've talked about. Quinn is a starting quarterback on this team. Arch is going to get great experience, whether it's 1 start, whether it's 2 starts. This is Quinn's team. He's the starting quarterback. This is very valuable experience for Arch Manning, not for the future, the next 2 years as a starter, but in case Quinn's hurt again later this season, because with an oblique strain, we talked about it earlier in this telecast, you don't know what's going to happen with that oblique strain. I mean, those can come back and bite you. You can re-injure those when you're getting sacked trying to throw a ball away. Great experience for Arch Manning. Quinn Ewers, this is his team this year. The Mannings have said it. Sark has said it. Everybody said it. Really good experience for Arch. And what this does, it gets Arch ready in case Quinn gets injured again later this season.
They want to be playing all the way to January 20th. And I would imagine however it plays out, he will be called upon again at some point this year, number 16, with his first win as a starting quarterback at Texas. Longhorns will remain number 1. Coming next, it's the post-game show on the On Texas Football channel. Went over 60,000 subscribers tonight during this telecast. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you to Bob Shipley. Thank you to Bobby Burton. Thank you to Rod Babers. Thank you to the Spreadwise app, your secret weapon for your football elimination pool. Vote for Anthony Hippolito for Hays County Sheriff. Also, One Source Gas of Central Texas. Online at onesourcegasatx.com. Post-game show coming next. Thanks, Jerry.
You got it.